kratom.com. This is the latest edition of the Liberty Beat. Find us online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. Your news now continues. Since January of this year, around 250 students at a fake university in Michigan have been arrested by U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement on immigration violations. The Mind Unleashed reports that in March, ICE reported that only 161 students had been arrested. The arrests are part of Paper Chase, a sting operation that lured foreign-born would-be students to enroll at the University of Farmington, a fake university offering graduate programs in technology and computer studies. The school was created by the Department of Homeland Security and is believed to have collected and kept millions of dollars in fees paid by students. Students, most of which were from India, enrolled at the University of Farmington and had legally entered the U.S. on student visas. The fake university, where over 600 students were enrolled, was staffed with undercover agents posing as school officials and was shut down in January. According to records filed with Michigan's Department of Licensing and Regulatory Affairs, the school was officially incorporated in January 2016. The school was legitimately accredited by the Accrediting Commission of Career Schools and Colleges. For the second year in a row, the U.S. Food and Drug Administration has designated psilocybin, the psychedelic compound found in many of the most popular hallucinogenic mushrooms, as a breakthrough therapy for the treatment of major depressive disorder. Treatments that are classified as breakthrough therapies are fast-tracked through the development and review process, which is often an extremely slow process filled with mountains of paperwork. The Mind Unleashed reports the classification is not taken lightly and is only granted in cases where a large body of evidence shows that the new therapy is a significant improvement to its alternatives. Typically, drug companies apply for the designation, which is either approved or denied by the FDA. Last year, the first breakthrough therapy designation for psilocybin was granted to the company Compass Pathways. The latest designation was granted to the U.S.-based nonprofit Usona Institute. Support for the Liberty Beat comes from the Conscious Resistance Network, featuring videos, news reports, and articles from a spiritual anarchist perspective. Experience the Conscious Resistance at theconsciousresistance.com. How would you like to have your business featured on the Liberty Beat? You can. Just send an email to libertybeat@snls.news for details. This is the Liberty Beat, produced in partnership with SNLS News and listeners like you. The Liberty Beat is online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. I'm Mick Murrow, reporting for the Liberty Beat, reminding you, spread liberty with a smile.
It's the Onion Radio News. A crazy man announces plans to stand in a doorway and yell at cars. This is Doyle Redland reporting. Dennis Fife, an Alhambra, California crazy man, held a press conference today to announce his intention to stand in the doorway of the office building at 2600 Kenilworth Avenue and yell at cars all day.
At approximately 9:30 a.m. on the day in question, shortly after I finish lunging at dogs, I will proceed to the front steps of the Simmons building and yell loudly for 9 hours. The screaming will be broken by a 15-minute fit of rigid catatonia, most likely in the late afternoon.
Among the topics Fife plans to address during his 9-hour rant, the ace of diamonds, bookshelves, the man trying to kill him, plastic bags in trees, Trapper John M.D., and papers everywhere. Doyle Redland for the Onion Radio News, online at theonion.com.
This is the Onion News Network.
Free Talk Live.
It is Free Talk Live. You're invited to join us here. The toll-free number, 855-450-FREE, like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. Joining you here in the studio tonight, you got Ian.
And the captain.
And Chris.
And you are listening to some of the audio from one of the Black Friday fights, which so far this year seems to be a little more subdued.
Black Friday? No, it's a mosh pit with prizes.
Did either of you guys go into Walmart? There were so many cops.
You did?
So many
you were
cops.
There?
Yeah, there was at least like a half dozen cops minimal at Walmart on,
In Keene?
This wasn't even on Black Friday, actually. It was yesterday.
So on Thanksgiving Day?
Yeah.
Wow.
on Gray Thursday.
It's funny comparing it to some of the other stores. I'm trying to think of the other one is in town here.
I've never even heard.
But there were no cops there.
I have never
Target.
even heard.
Yeah, there were no cops at Target.
Okay, what were they doing at Walmart?
Sitting around and wasting taxpayer dollars, presumably.
Well, I was in preparation for the show tonight, knowing that it was Black Friday. I was reading a bunch of stuff of Black Friday, and apparently Walmart is the number one, location where most of the injuries and that type of a thing occur.
Yeah, think about the kind of customer base they've got.
Well, I mean, are you suggesting something about?
Well,
about
they
the
target.
customer base?
I mean, their whole thing is based on low prices, right?
Uh-huh.
Like cheap of the cheap, the cheapest stuff you can get, right? That's what people go to Walmart for.
So you're saying those people are more likely to be a little scrappy?
Hey, more competitive is probably a word I would choose to use as to not to be.
So so you went in on Thanksgiving Day, which is now a very big shopping day. Apparently, a lot of stores were open on Thanksgiving Day, is what I was told yesterday. It used to just be Walmart, and then other stores kind of took to that. And so Black Friday is starting as early as like Wednesday or whatever it is. But I went into Walmart a few years ago for Black Friday, and I didn't notice what you're talking about, this large police presence.
Yeah.
So were they all together, the cops, or were they sort of spread across the store?
Couple cops here, couple cops there throughout the store.
Just standing there.
Just
and
standing there.
watching.
Literally just standing there, yeah.
Interesting. Well, I don't suspect they saw too much because I've never heard any issue of Keene fights. We're in Keene, New Hampshire, for listeners that aren't familiar.
I've never seen or heard of anything going on in small towns like this, and I've been in them for many years, going into Walmarts and things of that nature.
I mean, I saw some police, but they weren't on duty. There was like a police chief was there, but he was just walking around shopping, I think.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, I even worked at a store that did the Black Friday kind of stuff at one point, and it was kind of funny because it was really kind of pathetic, to be honest.
Pathetic how?
The line, like you expect people to like wait outside in the line, and, for the $200 laptop or whatever, and honestly,
didn't?
There was a couple people, but it wasn't like.
And this was a long time ago, right? Like when
it was
were you
a while
working
ago,
at Staples?
but I mean, 10 years ago. But we're still talking about like it was huge at that point in terms of Black Friday, and it's like for what you see on the news in a town larger than Keene, It was kind of pathetic. I mean, it's not to say that It's not to say that there weren't people coming in greater numbers throughout the day. Sure, there were.
And
a lot
you were
of
there
people.
for open. You were there at 6
I'm talking
a.m.
about opening. Yeah, at 6 a.m. or whatever.
Did
it was
you
at
camp
5
out?
a.m.
He worked there.
I worked there at the time. But
that would be pretty weird.
I mean, basically, what I'm trying to say is it's like it's. It may not be exaggerated from like major cities, but as far as like what our impression of it is, in not major city, it's not really this big thing.
Well, a fight can happen anywhere. I don't think it has to do with major cities. If you look,
I don't disagree, but there's fights that happen at Walmart outside of the Black Friday too. So to say that it happens more on Black Friday, I'd be skeptical.
Sure, but the fight that's going to happen at Walmart outside of Black Friday is just going to be two people who happen to hate each other seeing each other at Walmart.
I agree.
You stole my man. There's something like that.
Some drama,
right? Well, there's another video here at looks like a Forever 21 store at Lehigh Valley Mall. I think that's in Pennsylvania, with two guys duking it out in the mall. So they're not even in the store. So that's probably one of those examples of just it happens to be a fight between two guys that breaks out. Doesn't have anything to do with who got a TV first or who got to the special deal. It's like, oh, you owe me money, mother effer, or whatever. A fight starts, and because there's so many people around shopping, it's an increased likelihood that somebody's gonna get it on video, so it gets chalked up as a Black Friday fight, even though it didn't have anything to do with actually like fighting over a deal.
It was interesting too. I went into Walmart, and it really wasn't that bad last night, and I went over to Target immediately afterward, and Target was packed. Walmart, not so much.
Really?
Yeah, and I thought that was interesting.
Yeah, that is.
Well, the reading I was doing on the Walmart, altercations on Black Friday did seem to indicate that, the poorer the neighborhood, near populated areas, arguably large cities, was where most of the incidents occur. So, call them ghetto neighborhoods or whatever you like, disproportionately poor areas is, where a majority of these altercations take place.
Well, so far this year, it seems subdued compared to previous years as far as the number of reported fights and the videos of those fights. Not as serious. Like I remember there was actually a kind of a best of clip that I saw earlier, or worst of, or whatever,
montage,
however you want to look at it.
Yeah.
And there was like a classic, which I remember reporting on this one, where like a little girl's holding something and some woman just snatches it right out of this little girl's arms. Just like there's been some pretty crazy fights that have happened, and nothing too ridiculous, I would say, this year, although some are also reporting. The Black Friday headline over at Drudge Report right now is that they're saying that maybe crowds were lesser this year than they have been in previous years. Maybe people aren't turning out as much, and maybe because they're stretching it out, that's also affecting things. It's not just Friday 6 a.m. anymore. It's Thursday all day.
So
Wednesday.
I don't know exactly what they're doing, but I've noticed that they seem to have sales that start at different times throughout the day.
Right.
So that might also be having an effect. And I'm not 100% sure on all that, but that's what it appeared to me anyway.
Sure.
Maybe you guys are more familiar with how they're doing it.
What Ian said sort of coincides with what I was reading earlier today about a lot of retailers have sort of made Black Friday sort of the week of Thanksgiving.
Right.
They've started their sales, earlier in the week on Tuesday so that people didn't have to, sort of camp out, wait in line.
And just putting the stuff out, like the sales, like throughout the day, in order to alleviate the, the initial rush. Because if you do it, just at 6 a.m. or whatever when the store starts, you're not going to be able to capture as much of that business because people are going to, turn away, right? As opposed to if you do it throughout the day, it's, people are going to go in because it's not too busy. They're not going to have to wait in line for an hour or two or whatever it is. And I would think it would increase the sales. So from a business perspective, it seems like a good idea.
Yeah, if you're a retailer, what's going through your mind? Are you happy because you've created this environment in which people want to camp out the night before as if they're going to the premiere of the next Star Wars movie?
Well, that is good for publicity.
Absolutely.
But it's not good when somebody beats up somebody at your store. That's not good publicity.
But they do say any publicity is good publicity.
They say that, and I don't necessarily disagree. But some publicity is better than other publicity.
Yeah,
right?
I mean that's possible.
Well, they have that website, that BlackFridayDeathCount.com.
Which, I don't know about this, man.
12 dead and 117 injuries since 2006.
We've been following Black Friday here on Free Talk Live. It's one of those yearly things that we kind of do. We're here every day.
I mean, you have to, right? Like, I mean, it's like one of those things that you just can't avoid.
Something to talk about. We're interested in markets, right? We're interested in freedom and selling things and all that. The man shot to death last year. I'm looking at Black Friday death count, which you have to put in HTTP : by the way.
If you don't put the S in there.
If you put the S in, you get to some site that doesn't seem to have anything to do with this, which is weird. But anyway, in 2018, somebody shot in a parking lot. I'm pretty sure that was one of those things where it didn't have anything to do with, you got my PlayStation. It wasn't, it was probably somebody who saw somebody
That was my TV.
he hated in the parking lot, and it just so happened to be on Black Friday. I mean, think about it. There's probably fights that happen, in these stores throughout the year, but they're not as well documented.
I've
when those
seen
things
them
go
outside
down.
the Keen store.
Yeah, sure. But not on Black Friday, just any old time, right?
Yeah.
Toll-free number here tonight, 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. If you're in retail, if you've been in the stores, out shopping, you've seen something you want to share the story, by all means, you're welcome to join us. Free Talk Live.
Have you heard of LibertyCon? LibertyCon is not only a convention with great speakers like Whole Foods CEO and co-founder John Mackey and Nobel Prize winner Vernon Smith, but it's also unique because you get a chance to network with more than 70 pro-liberty organizations, one-on-one for the purpose of career advancement, business, and internship opportunities. April 3rd through 5th in Washington, D.C. You can learn more by visiting LibertyCon.com and use code FTL for a $10 discount on your registration. That's LibertyCon.com. Bitcoin.com has launched a trading platform at local.bitcoin.com, allowing you to buy or sell Bitcoin Cash via dozens of payment methods like PayPal, Venmo, bank deposit, remittances, or meeting in person with cash. There are no ID requirements to sign up for and use the site, and all communications between buyers and sellers are encrypted. Finally, a global trading platform that respects your privacy. Visit local.bitcoin.com to get started trading Bitcoin Cash. local.bitcoin.com.
You will understand the true intent of the Founding Fathers when they wrote the Constitution if you attend this free webinar. Chris Ann Hall, president of Liberty First University, doesn't simply regurgitate what some professor or expert has said about the Constitution. She relays the thoughts and opinions of those who wrote the documents. Her straightforward, passionate, easy-to-understand style lets anyone grasp the principles of liberty. Join us at lfu.freetalklive.com to watch the free pre-recorded webinar. Watch now at lfu.freetalklive.com.
Free Talk Live is now on more than 200 radio stations nationwide. We've had more than 18 million podcast downloads, and we claim millions of listens a month. We're a multimedia ad venue with print, email, web, and terrestrial radio marketing platforms. We strive to have ad packages that cater to advertisers big and small. Contact me today at mark@freetalklive.com to see what we can do for you. mark@freetalklive.com. If you're a local advertiser, contact this station. But if you can service a national audience, contact me, mark@freetalklive.com.
It's the Onion Radio News. The nation's last remaining themeless restaurant has closed. This is Doyle Redland reporting. A once vibrant era came to an end today when Pat's Place, the nation's last themeless restaurant, closed its doors in Cedar Rapids, Iowa. During the heyday of themeless restaurants, Pat's Place achieved a certain amount of notoriety for its unique non-themed food items and unadorned atmosphere. But according to owner Patrick Baines, the times have changed.
Lately, we've had only a handful of people coming in to gawk at our posterless walls and mundanely named menu items like hamburgers or pancakes, and then they go someplace like the Rainforest Cafe or Johnny Rockets to actually eat.
Plans are now in the works to convert the Pat's Place location into Cedar Rapids' 7th Patty-O Touchdown sports bar and good time internet grill. Doyle Redland for the Onion Radio News, online at theonion.com.
This is the Onion News Network.
So you've heard all 3 hours of the latest episode of Free Talk Live, and you're still hungry for liberty-oriented audio content? Did you know that we have another 24/7 audio stream at LRN.FM? The Liberty Radio Network airs the latest episodes of some of the best liberty-oriented podcasts on the internet around the clock. In addition to recorded content, you'll also hear live shows like Free Talk Live, originating from our Keene, New Hampshire studio. So listen anytime at LRN.FM. That's LRN.FM. The new 4th edition of Healing Our World, The Compassion of Libertarianism, will take your understanding of liberty to a deeper level and has over 1,300 updated references, new cartoons, and a foreword by Dr. Ron Paul. With discounts for multiple book purchases, the 4th edition of Healing Our World is a great gift for the liberals, pragmatists, environmentalists, and Christians in your life who think libertarianism is cold-hearted. Get yours today at healing.freetalklive.com and use promo code FTL for a $5 discount.
What's up next? Visit the Liberty Radio Network program guide to find out at shows.lrn.fm. That's shows.lrn.fm.
Yeah, it's Free Talk Live. You can join us here. The toll-free number is 855-450-FREE, like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. We have the Discord call-in line rooms over at discord.lrn.fm, talking about Black Friday and, all sort of aspects to it, not just the knockdown, drag-out fights that might be going on. And I just saw a fresh fight video posted from Albuquerque's Walmart. A couple of women fighting over probably some cheap item. Usually how things go there. We can tell you more about, that. There's really not that much to say, thankfully. People seem to be relatively well behaved, I would say, this year more so than years in the past. And maybe that's because the crowds aren't as big as they've been in years past.
I would prefer that this was an indication of sort of a cultural shift, at least, in the geographic area known as the United States, of people.
Well, the fights happen in the UK as well.
Yeah,
I've seen videos from there
too.
The
idealist in me would like to think that
I'm skeptical that it's because of a cultural shift, like people are getting tamer or less.
That's what you're skeptical.
Yeah.
I'd like to think that. I don't know that I do. I just like to.
It could be because numbers are down. If you don't have as many people fighting, in the same place.
I think what we touched off on at the end of the show, or maybe we only did it on break, was that the stores seem to be moving the sales throughout the day. So
they're strategizing it.
Yeah, they'll put signs up saying the sale doesn't start until XY time on like a certain segment of product. So the product will be in the store, but you can't buy it yet. And
they've also a few years back, some of the stores would hand out tickets to the people that were waiting in line. So, you want the DVD player or whatever, the laptop. Okay, here you go. The first 20 people, you guys get them. Sorry, the rest of you, you're too late. You don't even try.
Right.
Basically. And then you go in with your ticket, and you are given an item if you've got the ticket. So they've come up. The market has come up with ways to kind of deal with this, and I think the extended hours, the longer options, being able to shop on Thanksgiving, and having all these deals available over a time frame.
There were some retailers too that were just simply like, instead of opening at midnight on Black Friday, they were like, no, we're just going to let our employees enjoy their families on Thanksgiving, and we're just going to open at our regular time on Friday.
Oh, that's interesting. Target here in Keene was open until 1 a.m. I think on Thanksgiving. They said, and that's an additional hour from last year.
Oh, interesting.
And they don't usually. I think they close usually at like 10 maybe 10:30.
Yeah, that's something else the Walmart in town has done for years. Is they'll open till midnight. During Christmas season.
Yeah, Thanksgiving. My understanding was they were only open until their normal time.
Yeah,
11 p.m.
But they used to not be open at all on Thanksgiving, and then they did.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
And then they did like a special evening sale on Thanksgiving, and now, from what I understand, they were open all day.
Okay,
so it's
interesting.
So they expanded out. NPR reporting on Black Friday, saying that it's not what it used to be. Just ask Chris Ott. He married into a family that never missed Black Friday. And let's just say he really got into it. After Thanksgiving dinner, they'd peruse Black Friday ads, developing a, quote, really fun strategic plan, pick the store that we were going to wait outside of. We would divide and conquer, says Ott, who's 42, is a cybersecurity engineer and youth pastor in the Denver area. He says, quote, it was so extreme for us that we'd be on vacation with family in Florida over Thanksgiving, and we would wait outside the Best Buy in Orlando to see what we could get there. Unquote. It's a lot better to do it in Orlando, by the way, because it's nice and warm there by comparison. But lately, his family tradition has fizzled out. Stores kept opening earlier, cutting into Thanksgiving dinner. The internet made it easy to price check deals that started to seem less worthwhile, and online shopping became more convenient. Last year, he says, quote, we decided we'd rather just put up Christmas decorations and didn't even go.
That's more of like what I hope would be happening.
The reason why I've never been too excited about like Black Friday is just because the deals are like they're more imaginary than real. The $200 laptop is cutthroat. They use 3-year-old processors. It's garbage laptop. It's utter garbage. They leave out the webcam. They leave out like different components.
Yeah.
And then they use white label hard drives, so they're gonna fail in the next 3 days after you bought it.
Or the other retail trick that they do is like,
and they only have 4 of them anyway. Per store. So it's like
the other retail trick is they have an item. Let's say it's $100 normally. Right. But then when it comes around for the Christmas season, the Black Friday or whatever, right, they go, oh, it used to be $200, but it's marked down now $200, even though it's always just been $100.
It's very true.
Well, okay. I mean, having actually, I've worked in retail as you have, Chris, in the past, and back in the day, and this is the late 1990s, so Black Friday's been going on for a while. Back in the day, I remember when we literally had a pallet full of VHS decks, VCRs that we were selling. That there wasn't just 4 of them; it was literally a pallet full of these things that got wheeled out to the front of the store and sat down. Now it was the cheapest model, no doubt about it, of any VHS tech. But it probably was a loss leader, and that was sort of the traditional way that these things would run, where they will actually lose a few bucks.
And that's a psychological thing that they're doing there. So they're giving you this one product that's really cheap, and then marking everything else up. And so it may be a deal, and I will put that in quotes for that VHS player, but it's like, I don't know. It's like,
is it worth it? The real question is it worth your time?
To me, it's not.
Well, if it increases or at least, lets them get to their projected per ticket revenue, right? And by per ticket, I mean per, receipt. Right. So
is it worth it for the customer?
Yeah,
for the customer.
I'm definitely talking about the customer here.
Right.
Not
if you're
the
getting
business. The business that makes sense for it, but not
if you're getting $100, VCR, let's do something more modern. If you're getting $100 Blu-ray player.
I think you have to explain to the audience what a VCR.
You're gonna have to explain what a Blu-ray player is too, because it
kind of.
It fizzled out before it ever got off the ground.
Blu-ray? It's not fizzled out. You're thinking of HD DVD.
No. Blu-ray. HD DVD competed with Blu-ray for a while, I guess.
HD DVD fizzled.
HD fizzled from the get-go. Blu-ray
is still being manufactured.
Half came to market and still around, but it's still not around. It's not been massively adopted like DVD or VHS was.
HD DVD was the beta.
If you look at the statistics anyway, it's not anywhere.
Oh no, of course not. I mean, streaming is what
did.
Yeah,
VHS
right. Streaming went to the mass adoption, not Blu-ray.
Exactly. Streaming took over, not Blu-rays.
But anyway, if you've got a $100 Blu-ray player that you're getting for $70, you're getting $30 off. How much time do you really want to spend in line? What is your time worth as far as you've got to get up early, you've got to go and wait, and then possibly you won't get it. So I mean, it's just when you run the numbers, it just doesn't make sense 99% of the time. Now, is it worth it for the experience? I've always enjoyed just going out to watch and to participate in it. Just to
grab a camera.
Well, like I said, you're not going to see the odds that you're going to see a fight are next to zero.
Well, no, but you could get footage or snapshots for people at Walmart.com or whatever. Right?
I guess. I mean, I'm not really into that, but
I think it's just fun to kind of go and see what they've got. And honestly, though, once you're there, it's not really as interesting as you think it might be.
Typically, no.
That's my experience anyway. But
yeah. So let's talk more about why things aren't as attractive. The Black Friday sales. I mean, they interviewed this guy. His family went every year as a tradition. They've stopped going.
So what's he think?
So what happened? We'll get into that coming up here, and you can share your thoughts. Have you done Black Friday this year, and was it different from previous years for you? You can share your experience with us. Or maybe you're on the other side of retail. Maybe you're one of the workers, and you've got a story to tell. Our toll-free number here is 855-450-FREE like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. Plus, you can call in on our Discord lines at discord.lrn.fm.
I can definitely say that I have found the best cryptocurrency wallet. Certainly the best named one. I'm Mark Edge, and I love the Edge wallet. I've been using it for the last few months. You can buy, sell, trade, and hold your cryptocurrency securely. I trust my holdings of all the major cryptocurrencies to Edge Wallet, and you should too. No long phrases to memorize, just a username and password. Secure your freedom with Edge Wallet. Get it now on Apple or Android in the App Store or at edge.app. The next generation wallet is coming from Divvy. In just a few taps, you'll be able to send, earn, spend, and exchange digital money in seconds. Send money around the globe with only a swipe. Instantly exchange between Divvy, Bitcoin, and fiat right in the mobile app, and withdraw directly to your bank account. Divvy already offers the first one-tap solution for earning passive income with crypto. Multi-tiered masternodes allow everyone to partake in the network. Visit DivvyProject.org. DivvyProject.org.
Since time began, tyrants have taken aim at personal liberties. Now there's a movie that aims back.
The government has no more right to tell us what to put in our bodies than they have to take our guns or tell us what books we can read.
6 drug police were eaten by bears while raiding a marijuana farm.
On your knees, you dirty hippie! Jesus. On your knees! What's the problem, officer?
Today, many cops who enforce pot laws do so only because it provides them with cushy jobs, good benefits, and a chance to push people around.
I was an undercover narcotics officer. The drug war is nothing but a farce.
The Second Amendment says you gotta keep you and your gat intact.
Guns and Weed, The Road to Freedom. A film by Michael W. Dean and Nima Vadadi.
DVD available now at gunsandweed.com or on Amazon. That's gunsandweed.com. Makes the perfect gift. Remember, that's gunsandweed.com.
Cell 411 is a free app for Android and iOS that replaces government-controlled 911. Cell 411 allows you to preset a group of friends or private organizations to show up at any emergency. Cell 411 is a nightmare for the state because it proves their so-called services aren't needed. Cell 411 has had thousands of installs, and of course it's covered by the BIPCOT no government license. Cell 411 because your friends won't shoot you when you're in trouble. Without the government, who would build the emergency services? You and Cell 411. Get it today at getcell411.com.
If you want to know the latest about Free Talk Live before we go on the air, all you need to decide is how you want it delivered. It's your choice. Visit news.freetalklive.com to receive our usually weekly news updates by email. Plus, we have a Twitter account at twitter.freetalklive.com, and you can follow us on the decentralized Mastodon platform at toot.freetalklive.com. So please follow us at toot.freetalklive.com and sign up for our emails at news.freetalklive.com.
Excuse me, is this where I get a license to start a new business?
I wouldn't be hasty. You have to get a license to go out of business, too, you know.
Oh, well, look, I've invented this little anti-gravity machine, see?
Oh, is that why you're walking 2 inches above the floor?
Oh, yes, it's very comfortable. It saves on shoe leather.
Yeah, well, you have to fill out these forms and report to the Human Services Department of Manpower Orientation and register with the Fair Employment Practice Commission, the Wage and Hour Division of the Employment Standards Administration, the State Sales and Income Tax Division, the Internal Revenue Service, and the Social Security Administration of the Department of Health, Education, and Welfare, and, of course, OSHA.
OSHA? I thought that was a little town in Wisconsin.
You'll find out. Say, floating around like that could be dangerous. Have you checked with the Consumer Product Safety Commission?
Well, not yet.
Come to think of it, you actually are flying, aren't you? Look, you need to go over to the Federal Aviation Administration and the Transportation...
It's very hard to get anything done these days if you're in business, but free enterprise built this country. Think what could happen if we don't keep it free. A public service of this station and the Center for the Defense of Free Enterprise, Bellevue, Washington.
Besides, we just can't have people floating about unregulated, you know.
Join the LRN.FM Discord for live chat 24/7 at discord.lrn.fm. That's discord.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live. You can take control of the airwaves here. Toll-free number is 855-450-FREE. It's Black Friday. Of course, that means historically the day on which retailers get in the black. That's kind of where that terminology came from. We've been watching, some of the videos of the fights, which thankfully are a little more subdued this year. And maybe that's because there aren't as many people going. That's what a story here from NPR is suggesting. We'll get deeper into that. With you tonight, by the way, it's Ian.
The Reverend Captain Kickass.
And Chris.
All right. So in our chat room, we've got Scene Ree, he is saying that you are wrong, Chris, and that
what am I wrong about?
Well, he admits that compared to DVD, Blu-ray hasn't taken off, but he says he knows a bunch of people that have Blu-ray players.
Yeah, so this is personal experience, and I'm talking about statistically. Mm-hmm. The numbers aren't there.
Yeah.
It basically went from VHS to DVD
to streaming.
Yeah. And it's not to say that there weren't a lot of PlayStation users that ended up with a Blu-ray player.
Right. Well, that's what I said to him. I said you can't count PlayStation if they don't have a collection of discs.
I did
put in it.
Buy a PS3 whenever it came out, even though I had pretty much stopped playing PS3 video games. I bought the PS3 when it came out because it had a Blu-ray.
Yeah. And I've heard that from a lot of people, but that was its main. That's how it got into most people's hands, right?
When I tell people that I have when I still have and I have Netflix. The disc version, right? So I get Blu-rays and DVDs from Netflix.
You do.
When I tell people that, they look at me what?
I'm surprised.
And it's interesting because if you actually look at stores and stuff, they're still selling DVDs primarily.
Oh, I bet they are.
It's the Blu-rays exist, but there's still so many more people with DVDs than Blu-ray players.
Hey, before we go on with this, because we can, and we will, but I want you to know about BetterPlans.net. If you're sick and tired of Washington politicians making decisions about you and your family's health care, Obamacare, they said it was going to be affordable health care with a choice. Yeah, well, that's turned into high-priced insurance with little choice. The team at BetterPlans.net believed there was a better way to do health insurance, and they figured it out. You can call them at 800-714-1802 to get a fast and free quote. The truth is you can get affordable health care plans that cost hundreds of dollars less per month, but the first step is to become aware of how the wool has been pulled over your eyes. You can download their free ebook, Dirty Little Secrets, at BetterPlans.net. See their sample pricing for plans that are every bit as good as the major providers for as little as $145
$45 a month for a single, and even greater savings for families and businesses. You can gain access to their educational videos and get a free quote plus your free ebook, Dirty Little Secrets, at betterplans.net. Obamacare enrollment deadline for this year is December 15th, so don't delay. Visit betterplans.net or call 800-714-1802. So whether you want to comment on, the current state of Black Friday, retailing in general, which of course a lot of retailing is switching to online, as you would expect, people don't want to deal with the crowds. They don't want to. I had to go out and get. I had a headlight go out. You gave me a heads up about this last night. We were at you and I, Chris, and a few of the other locals, we went out for our Thanksgiving dinner at the Indian restaurant here in town that takes cryptocurrency, and you noted that one of my headlights was out, and I'm like, oh, man.
And they were open.
So now I have to go and get a new headlight.
Yeah, right, surprisingly, they were.
On Black Friday. I'm like, well, I don't want to go. I don't want to go to Walmart to get a headlight.
Right.
I don't want to wait in
Do
lines.
they even sell headlights at Walmart?
Yeah, dude. They have a whole automotive department at Walmart.
Oh, I have been into the automotive department before. Yeah.
And so I don't want to go to Walmart. I don't want to go to the auto stores near Walmart. Yeah. I don't want to go and deal with that. So luckily, I went to another auto store that's sort of like off the beaten path. And I got it taken care of.
I've been like sort of anti. I don't want to say Black Friday specifically, right? But like sort of the creep of like the earlier and earlier people start putting up their Christmas tree lights, and then of course the Black Friday overload, and you see the things like folks getting trampled for a big screen TV or whatever, people pepper spraying each other because no, it's mine, right? The selfishness that is, and so I've just kind of been anti all of that for a long time, to a point where I have avoided going out on Black Friday to really anything outside of maybe to dinner, right? I'm not going shopping for really anything.
Well, you came out today. You were at our crypto meetup.
I did, but again, for dinner. Right. And
it was a good one. We had like 10 people, almost 10 people, I think, today.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun, too.
It was a really good
I like talking to the guys from, what is it, Hush?
We had some of the North Country folks come
Those guys
down
are
here.
fascinating.
So, all right, let's get back into the story here from NPR. They, again, looking at a family guy, he's in his early 40s. He says for years his family made a tradition out of going to Black Friday, but now they're not doing it anymore. They decided they'd rather just put up Christmas decorations and not go. And NPR says it's not just this guy who's named Ott, Chris Ott. It's not just him. This year, only 36% of people said they plan to do most of their holiday shopping on Black Friday. That's down from 51% just 3 years ago.
Wait, that was really 51% of people said they were doing their Christmas shopping on Black Friday?
Yeah.
That is hard to believe.
Most of it. Doing most of it.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's not hard to believe to me. I mean, we've been following this pretty closely on Free Talk
I haven't
Live
been following
for
it that
years.
closely, so but
I find it fascinating.
Yeah, I'm shocked that that percentage of the population is actually like the stores are not designed to have those kind of numbers in them, like all at one time. As far as
it's not all at once. They don't all go at 6 a.m. They go throughout the whole day, basically.
Oh,
right?
yeah. So it's spread out throughout the day. It's
the reason
still
why
a lot of people, though. I mean, you're talking about like 100 and something million people, probably.
The reason why, though, is because people have the time off. It's the reason why Black Friday is where it is because everybody's out for Thanksgiving at their family. They're sick of their family. They've spent the last day at Thanksgiving. They're ready to go do something, and very few of them have to work on that Friday. So it's like, let's go shopping.
Right.
They've got to buy gifts they feel obligated to buy gifts for their family. And hey, there's sales. Why not go on Black Friday? But now it's down from 51% to 36%, which is a significant drop.
Well, and I wonder how much of that is attributable to what's called Cyber Monday, right? It's
a
online
factor.
retailers.
Yeah. No, it's definitely a factor. Cyber Monday has been gaining over
There's
the
more
years.
competition now. Yeah,
because of the internet.
It used to be because of brick and mortar, and then actually, I think didn't Black Friday start as a result of the online stuff that was going on?
No.
Black Friday is long before the internet.
Way back.
I thought it was like the 90s. It started when.
That's a good question as far as when it started, but it was definitely before internet stuff.
Yeah,
I feel like
I grew up as an 80s
I feel
kid.
like it
Black Friday was
increased
around
later on, but I thought it was a response to it. But anyway, I might be wrong.
Black Friday is still a very major event, both for retailers and shopping, but historically it's been the major event, and now it's just part of the overall season, says Steve Barr, who leads the consumer markets practice at a survey firm called PricewaterhouseCoopers. stores have permanently conditioned shoppers to expect big discounts on days other than Black Friday, says Barr, and retailers have made up additional shopping holidays like Cyber Monday, and Amazon has their own holiday called Prime Day. They've moved doorbusters back to Thursday and even Wednesday. This year, many started holiday sales back in October. To be clear, Black Friday is still the busiest shopping day of the year, says Brian Field of ShopperTrack, which tracks in-store foot traffic. Quote, our data shows there's still a massive spike on Black Friday.
Wikipedia claims the earliest reference to Black Friday was 1952, although the term itself didn't become widely used until recent decades. So
yeah, I'm going to guess the 80s or 90s.
I would say late 70s.
Yeah.
There were Black Fridays back in the 70s?
Oh yeah,
I don't even remember that. I remember the 90s.
You weren't alive.
I was. Yeah, I mean, I was young. I was young.
You can't
in the
remember
80s, so.
something where you
This is
didn't
true.
exist.
But that said, I was alive in the 80s, and I do remember a lot of stuff going on in the 80s.
I can tell you, I don't
90s.
remember much of the 80s. I mean, I remember being a kid, but that doesn't, necessarily translate to what the retail trends were.
Yeah, that's true. I wouldn't necessarily remember, like what percent. I remember in the 90s, right before the internet, basically.
Right.
It was absolutely.
Well, you were becoming more aware of things.
Insane, like in terms of the traffic, and that's independent of Black Friday.
Probably 10 years old or something, so I'm dating myself.
You remember going to a Black Friday?
82. No, I remember like the parental units getting up, early in the morning to go, drive off to wherever.
So they went without
Friday.
you?
I don't think my parents were that crazy, but certainly on the television, like with the media in like cameras and malls and stuff before the malls died.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, the malls dying.
That's what I'm thinking of.
That's a whole other story. So the toll-free number here is 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. If you've never seen the photos of the abandoned malls, those are really interesting.
Super interesting
to look at. It's like you're looking at like The Walking Dead or something, right? Like everything's overgrown. There are plants that were in there for like taken over. And
it's creepy.
It looks like really post-apocalyptic. More coming up here. It's Free Talk Live.
Hunters, anglers, campers, and survivalists. Get back to nature. Expand your horizons with the highest quality, most versatile, unique slingshots and sling bows on the market at slingbow.com. Slingbow products are compact and models start from just $17.98. They're perfect for your bug out bag or storing in your vehicle. Give yourself and your loved ones the excitement and tradition of Slingbow, a new frontier in archery and truly modern twist on this primitive survival tool. Feel the thrill only at slingbow.com.
Have you checked your Google search results lately? Search results are usually the first impression that people form of you or your business, so make sure that they create a positive impression with Reputation Defender. What the internet says about you can have a big impact on your life and your livelihood, even if it's not true. Fortunately, you can now control how you look online and in online search results with Reputation Defender. Call 800-831-0771 now. That's 800-831-0771. For your free reputation analysis. If you have negative material from an ex-employee, upset patient, or former client, newspaper article, legal issue, social media, or other source showing up in your search results, you can combat it with Reputation Defender. Our dedicated experts in patented technology can help make your online search results look their best. Call 800-831-0771 to learn more. 800-831-0771. That's 800-831-0771.
Most of you know that heart disease is the #1 silent killer in the U.S. What if I told you for just $54.95 a month you could fight against heart disease naturally? At Heart and Body Extract, we've been helping thousands of people get back to a healthier heart. Don't just take my word for it. Check out all of the success stories at hbextract.com, or to order, call 866-295-5305. That's 866-295-5305. hbextract.com. Don't risk it when you can take charge of it.
Don't you hate that feeling in the pit of your stomach when the police pull you over? Most people have no idea how to handle it properly, and they promptly get fed into the municipal fee-generating meat grinder. Or maybe you recall that feeling you get when you go to the mailbox and see one or more letters from the IRS. You get a sense of impending doom, don't you? So let me ask you, if you could learn how to use the law to beat the IRS, traffic tickets, almost any courtroom scenario, collectors, credit card debt, and even mortgage debt because of fraud perpetrated against you, would that be worth knowing about? Don't laugh. Investigate. Check out the life-changing benefits of the Lighthouse Law Club at their website, lighthouselaw.club. That's lighthouselaw.club. And while you're at it, visit the Lighthouse Law Club YouTube channel. You might be in for a pleasant surprise.
There are lots of ways to listen to Free Talk Live. Our podcast has been around since podcasts began, and now the FTL feed is loaded with content besides our full show archives. Did you know that we make it easy for you to customize your podcast subscriptions? We have different feeds, one that includes only our full shows, one with just the Daily Digest, and one with just the Edgington Post. You decide what you listen to. It's quick and easy to customize your feeds at feeds.freetalklive.com. That's feeds.freetalklive.com. Are you a cryptocurrency advocate? The Crypto Tip is the ideal outreach tool to help new people discover cryptocurrency. It's a printable business card-sized tip that you can give to service providers, preferably in addition to a good cash tip. When the server scans the QR code, it'll bring up an explanation of cryptocurrency, how to install a wallet, and allow them to claim the tip. If they don't claim the crypto, you get your tip refunded to you after a time period you specify. Plus, if they do claim the tip, you get an email alert. Create as many tips as you want at cryptotip.org. That's cryptotip.org.
Live video of our key New Hampshire-based shows is streamed on DLive. Please follow and share at dlive.lrn.fm. That's dlive.lrn.fm.
It is Free Talk Live. It's also Black Friday. If you want to comment, you can join us here. The toll-free number is 855-450-FREE. Like freedom. It's 855-450-3733. We have the Discord call-in line rooms over at discord.lrn.fm. You jump into one of those rooms, you'll sound almost like you're sitting here in the studio with us. Tonight, you've got Ian here.
Captain Kickass.
And Chris.
What is a t-shirt? Is it just another piece of cloth that keeps you from being cold and naked? We think a t-shirt is a way to connect with others, a way to communicate, a way to share your beliefs. Do you like to promote liberty? Is your torso lacking adequate coverage? Are you shivering into cold, lonely nights? LibertyMinded.com has durable, soft, comfortable apparel such as t-shirts, hoodies, and knit beanies for everyone that promote principled, liberty-minded messaging to let you immediately connect and show the world what you believe in. Best of all, this weekend, Black Friday weekend, LibertyMinded.com is running the biggest sale they've ever had. 30% off almost everything in the store. You can even pick up a Free Talk Live hoodie as low as $21.
What?
These things are normally pretty expensive. These hoodies, but they're old. They're like collector's items at this point. These are the original batch from a long time ago. They've been sitting on a shelf for a long time. So he's blowing them out at $21 a piece. Head over to LibertyMinded.com right now and take a look at what is available. Because once these hoodies are gone,
that's less than the cost of production.
You don't get them. You don't get these hoodies ever again. Now we may have new hoodies in the future, but they won't be like this. So LibertyMinded.com, you get 30% off almost everything in the store. And there's some pretty cool, really creative pro-freedom stuff there. So check it out. So we go to Olivia. She's in Arizona. You're on Free Talk Live. Hello, Olivia.
Hey, Black Friday. I just had a thought about that. Maybe the economy's gotten a little bit better and people don't feel like they've saved up all year just to get a great deal on one day. Maybe people have been buying throughout the year because they could afford it better.
So you feel like people are wealthier, and that's the reason why they're not targeting Black Friday deals?
Well, I kind of wonder, and I also wonder maybe if people have kind of are not buying gifts for each other as much anymore. If they just kind of are like, well, I'm going to buy what I want.
Do you have any evidence for that, or are you just speculating?
That sounds like somebody who was a child and grew up.
Because I don't know. I mean, it seems like gift buying is pretty inculcated within the American culture for most people. They feel obligated to buy for people, even if they don't even really care for those people.
Yeah, I don't like the whole, I don't know what you call it, a stigma with the holiday season where folks are... I mean... If there's somebody in your life that you think deserves, or you want to buy them a gift. There shouldn't
Anytime.
There shouldn't be a season where you do it, or a particular month or week.
Nor should you feel obligated,
right?
But do we feel is this sentiment that you're expressing common? Is it becoming more common?
I have no evidence for that, so.
I don't either.
I think it's mostly it's a holiday for kids. I mean, I don't think that is it
though?
I think so. Yeah. I mean, it's who do most people buy gifts for? It's the kids. It's either your
That's certainly
kids
a driver.
or,
there's no doubt about it.
I know the only real gifts that usually I pick up for like family and stuff are going to be, cousins, young cousins or
I used to go out of my way for like my niece and nephew until they got like of an age to where they're like, and then I'm like, okay, well, no more.
Yeah. I mean, there might be a gift for somebody who's older, but it's like, they're expensive, and these are gifts usually people can afford themselves. Like, so it's like, why would I buy something for somebody, that it's not going to be what they want anyway, right?
I totally agree with the logic behind what you're saying here, but I think the three of us in the studio may not be coming at this from the perspective of a lot of people. I know that every girlfriend I've had the ones that I've lived with have always been very concerned about buying for all their family members.
Yep.
Even if they couldn't even necessarily afford to do it, they wanted to do it. Simply because that's how they grew up, was that you bought things for all of your family members.
It definitely seems to be more of a, effeminate.
I wonder
sort of thing.
if is Olivia still on?
She's right there.
I wonder if Olivia, do you feel obligated to purchase gifts around the holidays for people?
I think maybe at one point I did, but what I always have done in the past is like things go on sale in January and in August, like after school starts, or early September. So I'd either buy like toys then when they're clearancing them out for this.
There you go.
Or what
Smart girl.
Usually what I do is like I like to travel and go to different things, and so whenever I see something that makes me think of someone, I'd usually buy it like when I saw it. So it's not like I wait all year until a holiday. It's like whenever I see something that makes me think of somebody, I'll get it and save it and then give it to them later. You know what I mean?
Okay, so you sort of like get a thing and then you sort of sandbag it until the holidays arrive? That's
somebody who's planning. That's somebody who's really got a strategy to this thing, not just going out at the obligatory times and doing the obligatory thing.
I always feel like when I'm buying gifts for people, like it's just gonna be it's just a waste of money
because you don't know what they want and they don't. They might not appreciate it. And,
yeah. It's one thing if you're buying it for like something cool like. For a child, like, I don't know, like a little remote control car, but like, especially for somebody who's older, it's like if they really wanted something, they would have just bought it
for themselves.
This might sound selfish, and maybe it is, but when it comes to receiving gifts, my preference is something made by a person, right? So
some sort of
preferably handmade.
item.
I mean, like even people at my day jobs that I've had over the years, they'd come in and be like, "Oh yeah, my 5-year-old drew this for you," and that would mean more to me than like somebody buying me a thing or handing me a gift card, right? So like,
get me something to eat. Right? Like if you know something I like to eat, can't go wrong with that.
Definitely can't go wrong with food.
But yeah, I'm with you on that. And Olivia, thanks for the call tonight. Appreciate it. The toll-free number here is 855-450-FREE, like freedom, because you're more likely to know what somebody, if you spend time with a person, you're more likely to know what they like to eat. That's an easier thing to go with. Or there's certain safe items that you really can't go wrong with most people.
Yeah, I've traveled around the United States and lived in many different states, and one thing I've never gotten away from is receiving at some point either canned goods, right? And I mean home canned, like jams and jellies, or some baked goods. Somebody made some homemade from scratch cookies, and here's your gift, Captain. Kind of a thing. So in every state I've been in, I know that's big here too, right? With folks canning and growing their own stuff in their yards and that kind of thing. So
just at today's crypto meetup, I was given a canned pickles, like a jar of pickles. To give to somebody. It wasn't for me. It was to give to Michael Hampton. So yeah, that's a thing. So the toll-free number, if you want to join us here, it's 855-450-FREE. But yeah, I totally agree with you on what you're saying about the logic of gift giving being pointless, especially when it comes to adults giving gifts to other adults. It's like, well, you don't necessarily know what that person wants. Maybe they already have the thing that you think they might want, and it's just an awkward kind of a thing. The thought's nice, right? Like, it's the thought that counts. Okay, well,
It's basically it's just a waste of money.
Well, and it's an inefficient way
right?
of spending money. And so then, you can always be like, well, I could get a gift certificate. Well, what's the point of that?
Yeah.
Like then I'm trading, I'll get you a $50 gift certificate to this place. Oh, well, I got you a $50 gift certificate. So, okay, we just traded $50.
Or even more awkward, you got me a $50 one and I only got you a $25 one.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, I mean, and I think it's about knowing the person, right? The depth at which you know a person. So, like, I have a friend who collects comic books and, action figures, that kind of thing. And, like, I gave him an action figure to complete his collection, right? He was missing this one.
You knew that.
I knew it. I happened upon one, and I'm like, I'm going to buy that, and I'm going to give it to this guy. And then when I was first getting into Bitcoin, his dad or something gave him one of the old the physical Bitcoins, the pieces of paper, and then the actual coin, and it's like 0.038 or something Bitcoin. And he was like, "Here, dude, I know you're into this," and he gave it to me, and I'm still holding on to it. So
sweet.
But
which physical Bitcoin was this?
It's
the Cascacious coins were a whole Bitcoin.
No, it's the piece of paper. It's about the size of $1. Looks like a gift certificate.
BitBills? Was it called BitBills?
I don't remember. I'd have to look at it. I have to dig it out of my safe deposit.
Is that depending on a website?
No, it's one of these things where you like
the codes
peel
beneath the thing.
Yeah, you like
Okay, so
it's like a lottery ticket.
It's a cold wallet.
Peel
or
the thing. Yeah, it's a paper wallet.
It's a paper wallet, but you have to trust the issuer because the person who created the thing obviously had access to the private key.
Right.
So yeah, it's gonna be a little janky.
I do have one of the coins though as well. The actual
Cascacious coins.
Yeah.
Oh, good deal. Those things are they're usually worth a couple times a Bitcoin because they're rare.
Because of just the fact that it's a rarity and it's a novelty.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Although there are the ones that are more rare. There was a misspelling of Cascacious. I may not be pronouncing it right, but there was in 2011 when they first came out, there was a batch of them that had like a missing S or something like that, and those are worth like 3 times a Bitcoin.
Interesting.
So I've heard, at least. Those are hard things to sell though online because, like, did somebody already redeem it? Like, are you getting the real deal?
Right.
It's tough to sell those things. 855-450, free like freedom. You can join us here. Hour 2's coming up.
Anarchapulco is the world's foremost conference for voluntarist thinkers and activists, held in beautiful Acapulco, Mexico. Share ideas on how to live free and escape the clutches of the state. Their unparalleled lineup of speakers will discuss entrepreneurship, investments, politics, philosophy, health, sustainability, lifestyles, and personal relationships. Stay in a world-class resort and enjoy the sun and beaches. February the 13th through the 16th. Visit anarchapulco.com for early bird pricing and 10% off with coupon code FTL.
Business owners, you want more customers? Accept cryptocurrencies. There's people all around you just waiting to spend money at your store. If only you would take it. I know, you've been waiting till someone else makes it easy. Well, good news. HelpMeTakeBitcoin.com adds Bitcoin to your point of sale. Totally free. Use the same equipment you already have, now with Bitcoin. And unlike credit cards, there's no fees. Let the guys at HelpMeTakeBitcoin.com bring new customers to your store. HelpMeTakeBitcoin.com.
Are you tired of your taxes funding endless occupations around the world? Antiwar.com is run by people who understand that wars abroad become wars at home, wars on our freedoms. Antiwar.com is dedicated to bringing you the latest in news, views, interviews, and reviews from the top movers and shakers in the anti-occupation movement. Antiwar.com has it all, from thorough foreign policy analysis to interviews with whistleblowers who used to run the military-industrial complex. Anti-war, pro-free market. That's antiwar.com.
LRN.FM now has a Discord. Discord is a free text and voice chat platform, and we now have our own server with a bunch of channels at discord.lrn.fm. You can join other listeners as they chat about various things during our live shows, or anytime, day or night. Discord software is available cross-platform, so you can have it on whatever device you want and take your chats anywhere. Join our Discord at discord.lrn.fm. That's discord.lrn.fm.
You're listening to the live edition of Free Talk Live. Hour number 2 is next after the news here on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
This is the Liberty Beat, your daily source for Liberty news and activist updates. Produced in partnership with SNLS News and listeners like you. Online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. I'm Mick Murrow with your latest edition of the Liberty Beat. Gold is trading at $1,464, silver at $17.01, and Bitcoin is trading around $7,749. Today's prices are brought to you by InnoScale. Takeoff with Managed Cloud. Looking for a safe, secure way to store your important files online? Let InnoScale handle it for you. Their high availability cloud servers are the perfect solution for clients needing one or more secure, scalable servers with built-in hardware failover protection. For details, see them online at InnoScale.net. In the news, on Tuesday, U.S. President Donald Trump signed an executive order establishing a task force to tackle what he called the sobering and heartbreaking issue of missing and murdered Indigenous women. The president added that such action, quote, should have been done a long time ago, end quote. The new task force, Operation Lady Justice, will be overseen by U.S. Attorney General William Barr and Interior Secretary David Bernhardt. Barr announced a plan, the Missing and Murdered Indigenous Persons Initiative, to address the crisis on Friday during a visit with tribal leaders in Montana at the Flathead Reservation. The signing comes as U.S. states, including Minnesota, also moved to create task forces to tackle the issue. It's been well known for years among North America's indigenous population that Native women face some of the continent's highest rates of sexual violence, murder, and domestic abuse. The Liberty Beat is sponsored in part by Brave Botanicals, high-quality kratom and CBD at reasonable prices with excellent customer service. Brave Botanicals is activist-owned and mission-driven and believes so strongly in the power of kratom, they're giving it away for free. Just go to freeounceofkratom.com for a free ounce of kratom delivered to your door. Just pay shipping. That's freeounceofkratom.com. This is the latest edition of the Liberty Beat. Find us online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. Your news now continues. Since January of this year, around 250 students at a fake university in Michigan have been arrested by U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement on immigration violations. The Mind Unleashed reports that in March, ICE reported that only 161 students had been arrested. The arrests are part of Paper Chase, a sting operation that lured foreign-born would-be students to enroll at the University of Farmington, a fake university offering graduate programs in technology and computer studies. The school was created by the Department of Homeland Security and is believed to have collected and kept millions of dollars in fees paid by students. Students, most of which were from India, enrolled at the University of Farmington and had legally entered the U.S. on student visas. The fake university, where over 600 students were enrolled, was staffed with undercover agents posing as school officials and was shut down in January. According to records filed with Michigan's Department of Licensing and Regulatory Affairs, the school was officially incorporated in January 2016. The school was legitimately accredited by the Accrediting Commission of Career Schools and Colleges. For the second year in a row, the U.S. Food and Drug Administration has designated psilocybin, the psychedelic compound found in many of the most popular hallucinogenic mushrooms, as a breakthrough therapy for the treatment of major depressive disorder. Treatments that are classified as breakthrough therapies are fast-tracked through the development and review process, which is often an extremely slow process filled with mountains of paperwork. The Mind Unleashed reports the classification is not taken lightly and is only granted in cases where a large body of evidence shows that the new therapy is a significant improvement to its alternatives. Typically, drug companies apply for the designation, which is either approved or denied by the FDA. Last year, the first breakthrough therapy designation for psilocybin was granted to the company Compass Pathways. The latest designation was granted to the U.S.-based nonprofit Usona Institute. Support for the Liberty Beat comes from the Conscious Resistance Network, featuring videos, news reports, and articles from a spiritual anarchist perspective. Experience the Conscious Resistance at theconsciousresistance.com. How would you like to have your business featured on the Liberty Beat? You can just send an email to libertybeat@snls.news for details. This is the Liberty Beat, produced in partnership with SNLS News and listeners like you. The Liberty Beat is online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. I'm Mick Murrow, reporting for the Liberty Beat, reminding you, spread liberty with a smile.
Florida officials announced today its plan to experiment with new 600-lever voting machines.
The machine operates through a very straightforward process that we think is going to give Floridians the peace of mind that their votes will be counted. The voter turns on the machine using these 30 levers at the top and then enters their names and social security numbers using the alphanumeric levers near the bottom here. Right about now, the voter is going to have to find the two levers on the machine that are exactly identical and pull them at the same time. then they're going to have to.
The new 22-foot tall steam-powered machines, which officials are hailing as, quote, the future of voting, each feature over 45 separate panels of levers, along with an intricate series of valves, knobs, cranks, and pumps, all designed to streamline the electoral process.
Now, some of this may seem confusing, but every voter will be given a comprehensive 2,200-page manual when they enter their precinct that will explain exactly what to do.
This is the Onion News Network.
Free Talk Live.
It's Free Talk Live. We're launching into the second hour of this Black Friday edition here at Free Talk Live. With you tonight, it's Ian.
I am Henry the Red, Duke of Shale, Lord of Northlands, and leader of its peoples.
And I'm just Chris.
And if you want to join us, you can. You can bring up whatever you want. Coming up here tonight, there are some other topics worth discussing, including crackdowns on ride-sharing and home sharing. In Seattle, they're coming down with a tax on Uber and Lyft rides, and in Boston, they're cracking down on Airbnb. We'll tell you about that when we get the chance. Also on the way, some tech news. Chris, you brought in a story about North Korea, plus telegrams being targeted by the entertainment industry. So lots to cover here tonight, but we started out by talking about the latest on Black Friday, and of course, you know, it's easy to focus on the fights, and thankfully, there doesn't seem to have been as many or as severe fights this year, but maybe that's partially because there aren't as many people out shopping this year as in previous years, at least according to the data that NPR is reporting on. The numbers of people who were planning to go to Black Friday is down significantly. It was 51% of shoppers said 3 years ago that they planned to do most of their holiday shopping on Black Friday. That is now down to 36%. So that's a significant drop.
You know what's interesting? It just occurred to me that the payment processors are going down. PayPal, for example, was down earlier today.
Really?
Yeah.
Meaning that the volume is up, so that's why they might be going down?
At least for the online retailers, yes. The volume appears to be up.
Wow.
I mean, unless there's something else going on that I'm unaware of. I didn't read a story about this. I just experienced being unable to pay because basically it just goes in, there's a circle and it just goes round in circle. Spinning forever on my screen.
I did have a problem with my one of my banking apps for the terrestrial banks that I use, logging into it today. It was like, your internet connection is slow. And I'm like, no, it's not. No, it's not.
It's you.
Yeah.
By the way, it's 30% drop. Going from 51% down to 36%. That's a huge cut.
That's significant.
Yeah, that's huge. And that's just in 3 years.
Or, I know the previous caller, Olivia, alluded to, well, maybe it's because, people are more prosperous and wealthy. Now, I'm wondering if it's the opposite way, or what with
they're less prosperous.
Yeah, with the Fed, flooding. They're not even calling it, they're inflating the money, right? They're flooding
quantitative
the market.
easing.
They're not even calling it that. They're just like, oh yeah, we're just going to dump. Yeah. We're just going to dump $180 billion into the economy that didn't exist before.
And they did that this year, right?
Yeah. They've been doing it over the last several months, and I don't know, at one point they were doing 50, 60, 70 billion a day.
I don't know about you guys, but the prices have also gone up this year, over the past year or so.
Now, what have you noticed?
I think the statistic is it's gone up 13%, roughly.
Just overall retail?
Walmart, I think that was Walmart. The prices went up 13%.
Wow.
And now some of that has to do with the different taxation policies.
And are they picking different categories and just looking overall, and that's how they're finding the 13%? Because obviously if you look at specific things.
The 13% was actually a number specific to import taxes, basically. The duties.
Thank Donald Trump for that, right?
Mm-hmm. But I don't know what other, what it's gone up outside of that specifically also, because everything's going up in price. It's always going up in price. But yeah, I know in the past year, our prices have had to go up significantly.
Yeah.
And a lot more than 13% for that matter.
Well, there's no better place to look than the cost of renting a property or leasing a place for your business, that type of a thing, and how much that has gone up just in the last 10 to years. I mean, even 5 years ago.
Property taxes have definitely gone up significantly for us over the last 3 years, and specifically this year as well.
I know when I attempted to come out to New Hampshire about 5 years ago, and I was looking at Craigslist and all the rental agencies, looking at what the prices of apartments were so I could have some place to land. And then I had a delay, and then I didn't come out until this year. And a good couple $100 a month more.
Wow.
Over 5 years.
I think we went from paying like $6,000 when we moved in to I think it's got to be like $8,000 now.
And this is 4 years ago.
Yeah, 4 years. Over 4 years, it's gone up. Yeah.
Well, that's the thing. When times are tough, government doesn't cut back.
No, they don't.
They
sure don't.
They can just take. So here's a little bit more from NPR. They're kind of looking at some of the reasons why people are dropping out of Black Friday. They're opting out, and now they point out that the sales are not just Friday now, it's Thursday, and some stores open all day now on Thursday, and some starting sales on Wednesday. Plus, some people are just, seem like they're burned out on it. Of course, they say here not everyone who visits a store actually buys something. They're looking at, for instance, foot traffic patterns, and yeah, Black Friday is still the busiest shopping day of the year, but is it down overall? Looks like it might be. For the past 2 years, the number of people joining the tradition has inched lower, and some experts say that's not necessarily a bad thing. It's a minor decline, says one of these. This is a guy who tracks foot traffic, Mr. Field. He says it's probably more than made up for with the shopping that's happening online. In fact, this year, one of the analysts found for the first time, this is a big deal, the majority of people plan to do their holiday shopping online instead of in stores. So there is a shift. There's definitely a trend in this direction. So this is the very first time. I'm actually surprised it took this long, but for the first time ever, 2019, where the majority of shoppers are planning to just do it online.
So it's not the cultural shift that I had hoped for. It's the convenience of delivery shift. I'm down with that.
I have to say, I think the overall traffic is actually down on internet purchases from last year to this year, and it actually has been for a couple of years now.
Really? You've looked at some numbers?
Yeah, I think I did here recently.
You're talking about like an industry-wide kind of number?
I'm trying to remember what it was I was looking at specifically. I don't know if it was an industry-wide or maybe it was industry-wide. I don't really recall the details. I just remember I looked at some details for something. I don't know if it was my own sales or if it was
the information,
the industry sales or what. But I remember it wasn't like a huge decline, but it was,
That definitely does not suggest good times economically.
Yeah.
The stores have tried for years to make doorbusters a more pleasant experience, to tame the stampedes and the fights over toys and televisions. The most infamous incident in 2008, some 2,000 riled-up shoppers literally burst through the doors of a Walmart, trampling a store worker to death in New York State. Now, that's one you can count for the death watch.
I think that might be the most watched one, too, the video of that.
And if you think about it, they say here the doorbuster culture has stores fighting over shoppers who are mainly there because stuff is cheap, many of whom might not return until the following holiday season, says Peter Fader, the professor of marketing at University of Pennsylvania. Now he says more and more companies are realizing the real value is in loyal shoppers who are there all year rather than fair weather shoppers from one weekend in November. Quote, there's always the chance we could turn that ugly duckling into a beautiful swan, but that's not that common, he says. And you'd start to say, whoa, wait a minute. Why are we paying people double overtime to be here to serve these not-so-great customers?
Right. And I wonder, to me, the doorbuster stigma, culture, whatever that is, it seems like organized looting.
Well,
I don't know about that.
It's not looting if you pay for the product.
No, I understand that, but I mean, it feels a lot like looting. You know what I mean? When you see the videos of the people, breaking down the doors.
Looting is
those are rare. Though again,
yeah.
You can't look at the videos and say, "Oh my God, it's a madhouse out there." Most places, it's pretty orderly. People are kind to one another. You only see a handful of videos every year, and think about the millions of people going out, the thousands upon thousands of locations where these sales are happening. Overall, Black Friday is a pretty safe event.
I've never seen anything to be. You know what? I've seen that's scary to me is not actually Black Friday, but back to school. Back to school is scary.
You talking about as a worker being in a store?
No, I'm talking about as a parent or a child going into like a Staples or a Walmart or something like that.
Why is it scary?
you're literally, I don't even know how to explain this, but the traffic is, you are literally like, I don't even know how to describe it. Like, it's so bad back to school that you're going to be physically on top of the next person that's in, like, there, you can't move. Is
this like the week before school or like the week of? It's like
the week that school starts. Yeah. And it's really just a couple of days specifically, like 1 or 2 days really. Yeah. And every single parent in like the school district is at, your local Staples or Walmart or whatever.
The toll-free number to join us here, it's 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. Apparently Amazon workers are walking out in Europe in protest as well. You can join us here. This is Free Talk Live.
Bitcoin.com has launched a trading platform at local.bitcoin.com, allowing you to buy or sell Bitcoin Cash via dozens of payment methods like PayPal, Venmo, bank deposit, remittances, or meeting in person with cash. There are no ID requirements to sign up for and use the site, and all communications between buyers and sellers are encrypted. Finally, a global trading platform that respects your privacy. Visit local.bitcoin.com to get started trading Bitcoin Cash. local.bitcoin.com.
Balance of Nature, changing the world one life at a time.
I started taking them about 7.5 years ago. It was right after I lost my husband. My husband passed away. I was grieving so bad I wasn't eating at all. I mean, I just didn't care. And so I heard the advertisements on the radio, and I thought, well, my family's upset about me. I got to get myself straight, and I started taking them. So I always say they kind of saved my life, They gave me back my life. I would say that.
Experience the Balance of Nature difference for yourself. Call or go online now and become a preferred customer, which gives you our best pricing and free shipping. And we will take an additional 35% off of your first order. This will be a limited time offer, so don't wait. Call 800-2468-751. That's 800-2468-751, or go to balanceofnature.com and use discount code FTL.
I want to tell you about my favorite cryptocurrency wallet, Edge Wallet, at edge.app. Edge is the wallet I use more than any other, and that was true long before Edge Wallet became a sponsor of Free Talk Live. Edge Wallet allows you to buy, sell, trade, and securely hold your cryptocurrencies, including Bitcoin, Ethereum, tokens, Monero, Ripple, Dash, Bitcoin Cash, and more. It's available for both Android and iOS, and you can download it via the Play or App Store or via Edge Wallet's website, edge.app. Secure your freedom with Edge Wallet. Why did you move to the Shire?
I moved here to the Shire because there's other people around who take liberty just as seriously as I do.
I moved to the Shire because I saw videos of people challenging authority and thought that I could get support myself. It called to me, like, do this, right now.
I wanted to be around people like me who got it, and once I got here, I knew there was nowhere else that I wanted to be.
I've always wanted to change the world, so I moved to the Shire to join people who were actually working towards doing the same thing.
The people here are awesome, loving, and positive. It was for the adventure and for the feeling of something important is happening here, and I just wanted to come to sort of be part of that.
Visit ShireSociety.com to read and sign the Shire Society Declaration and learn the reasons why, if you love liberty, you should immigrate to the Shire. Plus, connect with others via the forum at ShireSociety.com. That's ShireSociety.com. The LRN.FM social media channels have been revamped. We've eliminated Facebook and focused on other platforms like Twitter and Mastodon, the decentralized alternative to Twitter. On our accounts, you'll find posts from multiple LRN.FM show hosts together in one place. Follow us on Twitter at twitter.lrn.fm, or better yet, move to the decentralized Mastodon social media platform at toot.lrn.fm, toot.lrn.fm. I think you'll like it. Bitcoin.com has launched a trading platform at local.bitcoin.com, allowing you to buy or sell Bitcoin Cash via dozens of payment methods like PayPal, Venmo, bank deposit, remittances, or meeting in person with cash. There are no ID requirements to sign up for and use the site, and all communications between buyers and sellers are encrypted. Finally, a global trading platform that respects your privacy. Visit local.bitcoin.com to get started trading Bitcoin Cash. local.bitcoin.com.
You're listening to the best liberty-oriented audio streamed around the clock, on the air, and online. This is the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
It's Free Talk Live, Black Friday edition of the show. We're here live. You can talk and call in and talk about anything you want. We've been talking about Black Friday. There is some other stuff in the news we're going to get to as well. With you tonight here, it's Ian.
And Captain Kickass.
And Chris.
And if you're in the retail business and you want to do something a little different, you want to start taking Bitcoin or other cryptocurrencies at your point of sale, get on over to helpmetakebitcoin.com. They will walk you through the process of getting set up with a cryptocurrency wallet. Maybe you've already got one of those. Well, then you're almost halfway done, because that's probably one of the longest time-consuming processes, and I mean like 5 minutes, because you have to download an app and load it. It's pretty easy to do this. And then once you download the AnyPay app for iOS or Android, there's even a web browser version of it. Then you put your crypto wallet addresses in the back end, and you're ready to start accepting cryptocurrency at point of sale. It is very easy. There's no paperwork. There's no application fee. There's no waiting. You don't have to ask anybody's permission. You just go to helpmetakebitcoin.com and get started accepting Bitcoin, Bitcoin Cash, Dash, and I think even Bitcoin SV. If you want to.
It is. Yes, I've seen that on the list of when I'm checking out at merchants.
Well, there aren't too many merchants, but yeah.
I've seen two.
Right. HelpMeTakeBitcoin.com. There's one guy in Keene that's like a Bitcoin SV fanatic, and he's gotten a couple of the businesses.
I think Thirsty Owl takes it, and I think I saw it at one other place.
I think you're right about that. HelpMeTakeBitcoin.com. Get started over there as we continue here. Still covering Black Friday related news now with Amazon protests. You said you've been doing a little digging here, Captain Kickass. This is one of the stories you spotted earlier.
Yeah, I breezed over it, as far as reading through the actual article, and it just overseas, right?
This is overseas, but they were supposedly doing this last year in the U.S. as well. So it wouldn't surprise me if this was happening somewhere in the U.S.
So they're claiming poor working conditions.
That's what they've been claiming.
Claiming all sorts of things like they don't, they're not supplying bathrooms, or up to par, like people have had to urinate into bottles and things of that nature. And of course Amazon's like, no, we provide some of the highest pay and the best working conditions of any company ever, right?
Who's telling the truth?
And so it becomes a he said, she said, and so apparently some folks who work for Amazon in the UK and other areas of the EU have staged some sort of a walkout, I guess.
The story here from the BBC, the Union Verdi, which called the strike regarding workers at 6 Amazon distribution centers in Germany, have staged a Black Friday walkout disputing pay and working conditions. They said their members' hard work could not be bought for knockdown prices. It wants Amazon staff to be part of the German retail industry's collective bargaining structure. They want a union, is what they want. The strike came as protesters in France targeted Amazon centers. At the online retailer's depot in Bretigny-sur-Orge, south of Paris. I'm sure I brutalized that. It's likely French name. Dozens of climate change activists blocked the path of lorries trying to enter the site. Now, what is a lorry?
That's a truck.
The truck. Okay, thank you. Other protesters converged on Amazon's French headquarters in Clichy, north of Paris. The activists held banners with slogans including "Stop Amazon and its world" and "Amazon for the climate, for employment, stop expanding, stop overproduction." German workers walked out overnight at Amazon centers in various different locations across the country. The strike is due to last all weekend, with employees at some centers staying away until early Tuesday morning. Amazon denied its staff were badly treated, saying that it was, quote, a fair and responsible employer, unquote, with pay rates at the upper end of what was normal for comparable jobs. Well, there's always going to be, in a group of employees, there's going to be some unhappy people. And we've seen this with the Uber drivers, for instance, where there's I don't know what the percentage of them there are, but there's a certain percentage of them, probably pretty small, that's very, very loud. And they're mad. And they want their employment benefits. They don't want to be a contractor. They want to be an employee. And we've been, and so this is kind of similar. It's like, well, you took this job, and rather than quit the job and go find a job that, is better suited to your tastes or whatever, you want to turn into an on-the-job activist.
Right, yeah. Well, I don't get what the climate protesters had to do with the walkout, but yeah, it's fine.
Well, there's another story from Fox News about the climate side of this, so maybe we'll dig in further into that. Amazon says its deliveries would not be delayed because, quote, the majority of workers are taking care of customers' orders as normal, unquote. Amazon employs 13,000 people full-time at 13 different logistics centers in Germany, with extra seasonal workers taken on at Christmas. So, again, Amazon's basically saying, yeah, these are just a few employees. This is no big
if
deal.
they want, some sort of unionization, all they have to do is hire like an Italian or a Sicilian or, somebody who's familiar with the routine, Teamster.
Is that a gang joke? Gangster joke?
Yeah.
Story over at Fox News. Protesters around the world disrupted Black Friday shopping to draw attention to climate change. Days before the UN is meeting in Madrid to discuss the issue, the retail holiday saw protests in a long line of countries, including Germany, France, and the United States, with some activists entering stores and others holding mock funerals. Near Paris, climate demonstrators blocked a shopping mall and gathered in front of the Amazon headquarters to protest what they say is overproduction killing the planet.
Wait. I like having a climate because I know as a human, if we don't have one, we die.
Yeah, it's nice being able to breathe.
Why would you protest the climate?
Well, they're saying that Amazon's making too much stuff and that's somehow killing the planet.
Right.
Yeah, I don't buy it either. And the reason I don't buy it is because, well, Amazon's not going to make more stuff necessarily than what they think's going to sell. And yeah, sure, you might estimate what sales might be and make a few too many things, but then you just lower your price and people buy them.
I think part of the problem is, though, that they're targeting things that are not even, in fact, like the big things that are really impacting the environment anyway, right?
Well, the government is the largest polluter on the face of, and government as in like state governments,
Absolutely.
statist governments,
but not targeting them.
National governments, they're the largest polluters.
Yeah, it's not even that. Like I'm trying to think what it was like high up there on the list is like the number one thing, and it's something that can be fixed or something, but it's like that's not what they're targeting. I don't know.
Yeah, you're gonna have to find that list because we don't know what you're talking about.
I don't either, but I probably won't be able to find it. But yeah, it's just something I remember reading about at some point, and it's just like it just always boggles my mind, like the plastic straw thing. And
that's so dumb.
Like as another example of something that's just
all of these things are so symbolic, right?
Yeah,
like it's like
they're symbolic,
but
they have absolutely zero effect.
Well, another good example of this, the plastic straw is a more recent example, but Penn and Teller's great Showtime series that they did for I think 8 seasons, BS, can't say the name of it on the air. They did an episode on recycling that showed that most of the things that people recycle, it actually takes more energy to actually reprocess those materials than it would to just make things from scratch. So for most things, with the exception of I think aluminum and I forget there was one other thing, but aluminum is worth doing. The rest of it, it's a total waste of energy to do it. So it's all about feel good, pointless stuff. And so are these protests pointless? Yeah, but we'll get a quote from Extinction Rebellion, which is one of the groups here that's out protesting today. The toll-free number, if you want to join us, 855-450-FREE. Oh, it's the whole Buy Nothing Day thing. Yeah, that's also pointless. We can talk about it coming up here, and you can share your thoughts. 855-450-FREE, like freedom. This is Free Talk Live.
She's such a beautiful little puppy. I mean, we walk around the block, and neighbors always say, her hair is so beautiful.
Healthy and shiny and glossy. DINOVITE.com.
Fatty acids, omega-3s, and omega-6s are great for healthy skin and soft, shiny coats.
I would really recommend people starting their puppies on Dinovite before they get into what I would call the misery index. Bad skin, bad ears, bad breath.
Because if they're getting all their vitamins, micronutrients, microbials from the beginning, then you're not going to run into the problems associated with the allergies,
grass, pollen, dust, dirt, fleas, ticks, you name it.
And the itching and shedding down the road.
Our vitamins and enzymes replace the nutrients cooked out of most commercial dog foods.
Dinovite for life.
This is Ed Lukasevic.
And Cindy Lukasevic.
Inviting you and your pets to Dinovite.
859-428-1000.
DINOVITE.com.
So the protection of life, liberty, and property is what the Free State Project is all about. But it's an effort to move 20,000 people who understand.
It's about demonstrating to the entire country
that, yeah, we can have a free market, a truly free market.
Making it just a freer, great place to live.
It's the world's largest voluntarist libertarian community, and it's only getting bigger.
That's amazing, to be able to move to a place where other people like passionately believe in being free and independent.
What the Free State Project is managing to do, though, is to put their money where their mouth is. Physically getting up across the country and saying, let's go someplace and let's demonstrate the power of these ideas. There's a lot of kind of philosophy that surrounds liberty. There's a lot of thinking about it and talking about it. But here in New Hampshire, people are doing it.
101 Reasons Liberty Lives in New Hampshire, a documentary by Free State Project Early Movers. Watch it free at 101reasonsfilm.com. 101reasonsfilm.com.
I'm a little obsessed with My Magic Mud. Several years ago, I met Jessica Armand, the founder and CEO of My Magic Mud, and I didn't even know my teeth were coffee stained. A week's worth of use convinced me, and now I use it every 3 or 4 days. It's clinically proven to whiten teeth, and I think it cleans better, too. My Magic Mud's available at most local health food stores, Sprouts, Natural Grocers, CVS, Walmart's Natural Beauty Aisle, but I can get it for you for 20% off with coupon code FTL20 at mymagicmud.com. FTL20 mymagicmud.com.
Some of you asked, and now we've delivered. LRN.FM's live Keene, New Hampshire studio shows are now streamed in HD on Twitch. Visit our channel at twitch.lrn.fm and give it a follow. If you have Amazon Prime, you get 1 free subscription on Twitch. If you use it on our channel, Twitch will give LRN.FM a monthly piece of your Prime subscription cost. So please watch, follow, share, and subscribe to twitch.lrn.fm. That's twitch.lrn.fm.
Never, ever send a follow-up email asking, "Did you get my email?" Email 101. If it didn't bounce back undeliverable, it got where you sent it. And avoid transmedia pestering, like calling to ask, "Did you get my email?" or emailing to say, "I left you a voicemail." If your emails and voicemails aren't being acknowledged, your problem isn't technology, it's technique. Is your message concise and understandable? Have you boiled it down to seem as relevant as possible to the recipient? In other words, is it the opposite of spam or junk mail? All of this really matters if you're a job seeker. But even if you're not, with money and attention so scarce now, effective communication skills have never been more important. For more tips, hit survivalspeech.com. I'm Holland Cook.
Do you love Twitter? Make sure you favorite the LRN.FM Twitter account so you can receive our tweets at twitter.lrn.fm. That's twitter.lrn.fm.
It's Free Talk Live. Dial in, toll free, bring up whatever you want. Our number here, 855-450. Free like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. We have the Discord call-in line rooms. You can jump into one of those over at discord.lrn.fm and sound almost like you're sitting here in the studio with us tonight. You have Ian,
the captain,
and Chris.
And LibertyCon coming up April 3rd through the 5th. Mark your calendar for an event in D.C. for people who are interested in networking with more than 70 pro-liberty organizations. Maybe you want to advance your career or, key in on some business and internship opportunities. This is going to be a great time to do that. There's also some excellent speakers who will be there, including John Mackey from Whole Foods. He'll be speaking on conscious capitalism. Vernon Smith won the Nobel Prize in economics. He'll speak on alternative markets. Miriam Issa is a pop culture expert and political commentator with over 300 million YouTube views. And Nassim Nicholas Taleb spent 21 years as a risk taker before becoming a researcher in philosophical, mathematical, and practical problems with probability. There's a lot more to learn. Go to libertycon.com for more details on additional speakers and other happenings. Plus, you can use code FTL like Free Talk Live to save $10 on your registration, which is actually a significant portion because the registration is shockingly affordable for this convention. You can go to libertycon.com. Normally, if you go to a convention, you should expect to pay $200-$300 for a weekend-long convention. This is $80.
Wow.
So it's amazing.
And $10 off.
Yeah, and $10 off by using code FTL, like Free Talk Live, at libertycon.com. We'll see you there April 3rd through the 5th in D.C. And yes, discounted rooms are available for you at the hotel, the Marriott Marquis. Plus, if you're a student, travel scholarships are available. That means they're going to help you get there. So once again, libertycon.com. We're talking about some of the protests going on outside of Amazon's warehouses in Germany. Plus, there's climate protesters outside of shopping malls and various retailers claiming that, we'll get some of their quotes here in just a moment, a group called Extinction Rebellion. Now, I've heard of these people as of a few months ago, and I knew they were plotting to do something. I wasn't sure when or whatever, but apparently it's now. And so we'll tell you what these people claim to stand for. Extinction Rebellion. Sounds pretty serious. We'll get into that. But first, Dave is on the line in Colorado. Dave, you're on Free Talk Live.
And I'm here.
Hello, and there you are.
And I'm taking you off of. Okay.
Thank you.
There's been some NH exit news of a sort.
NH exit. This is the idea of New Hampshire leaving the United States.
Oh, please, let's.
Wait. News? How is there news? Is there something actually happening? Because I'm ready to party.
Well, it's not as much as I'd like it to be.
Okay.
But, the governor has kind of gotten on board in an indirect way.
Wait, really? No.
What? Come on.
I can't believe
You're
this.
teasing. Go. What's
the news? What's the real news?
So he's made a hashtag, I guess, or Twitter tag, whatever that thing is with the number sign on it.
Yeah.
Is it my NH exit?
What? What is this in relation to? Like, what did he do this for?
In relation to his. Now, I'm not sure if he created it or not, but he's been promoting it. It's in relation to his opposition to the federal government's interference in exit numbers in New Hampshire.
Exit numbers? Oh.
So
With the number of freeway exits?
The freeway exits.
Oh.
Oh my
So
God.
he says, I have a quote from him here. He says, quote, "I don't know about you, but I love the fact that I grew up as an Exit 3 kid in Salem. Exit numbers are a point of pride for some of us in NH. And
Really?
we shouldn't let Washington bureaucrats threaten to take that away."
I'm so proud of exit 347.
Seriously.
Well, if you're going to make a stand, I guess it's good that he made some kind of a stand against the federal government on exit numbers.
Right.
I mean,
Well, it's not like he ordered any state troopers to arrest them while they're changing the numbers, But
they
at least,
are changing the numbers?
Well, I don't know. There's a battle over whether the numbers might be forced to change in New Hampshire.
Huh.
Internal drama.
Interesting. So, yeah, Chris Sununu, who is the current governor, he tweets, "The Granite State receives the lowest level of federal highway funding of any state. We won't let misguided and wasteful Washington policies force us into changing our state's iconic exit numbers."
Great. Let's get the federal government out altogether. Stop accepting the money and declare independence.
Yeah, and if I'm hearing this correctly, the feds are trying to dictate what New Hampshire does with their exit numbering.
They try to
scheme?
dictate all sorts of stuff like seatbelt laws and
No, I know, like
it's
the whole
absolutely absurd.
21 thing. And,
All right, so here's what's
Yeah.
here's what's going on. According to WMUR, the Department of Transportation in New Hampshire has endorsed a proposal to renumber all the exits based on mile markers rather than the sequential numbers they currently are. DOT officials say the state could lose federal highway money if it doesn't make the change.
Oh, good.
The proposal would be part of the state's next 10-year highway plan and will be considered by the Executive Council as early as next week.
Hold
So
on.
they can't force it on New Hampshire, but there's money behind
This
it.
actually is a good thing in some respects if you think about this, because it gives us more.
What is pushing back against this?
Pushing
or
back
the
against
change?
us. And the reason for this is because the less money we receive, the better the argument is for independence.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to be able to get more people on board with supporting independence when you tell them, hey, we're not receiving the federal funds. We're being basically, negatively impacted relative to other states.
Don't the states collect the revenue and then turn it over to the feds anyway? Isn't it the state's responsibility to collect
the IRS
funding?
collects the revenue.
Yeah, it's a federal agency that does that.
So the IRS collects the revenue that goes into the general fund or whatever. Of course, some would say the IRS actually pays the interest on the Federal Reserve loans, and that's a whole other story. But in theory, it goes to the federal government, and then it goes back to the states.
Yeah. The states basically are bribed
with their own money.
Yeah, with their own money, and with their people's own money.
Right. That's what I was getting
into
at.
doing whatever it is that they.
I was under the impression that the states collected the money to turn over to the feds anyway, and if that was the case, they could just stop turning it over.
No, the property taxes here go to the state and the cities.
Right. Well, so property taxes do, but like
sales tax also goes to the state's general fund.
Right. But the federal money is what you're paying the IRS directly.
Right. So what was it that you thought the state was collecting? I guess
I don't know.
For the feds. Yeah. Dave, other thoughts on this? Is this an opener for potential? Could this guy's mind be open towards like a full-on NH exit, or is this just some weak ass thing that he put on Twitter?
Oh, I think we're talking more weak ass, but at least it's weak ass in the right direction.
Yep, that's true.
Dave, can we hijack his attempt at hashtag NH exit and turn it into something he doesn't want?
Oh, I like that.
Well, give it a shot if you want, and report your results to nhexit.com.
Excellent. Thank you, Dave.
We support the governor's exit from the federal government.
Yeah, too bad he did hashtag my NH exit. It's not quite the same as hashtag.
Oh, well, he's free to leave.
True. He might leave next year if nobody beats him in the primary. Nobody is our co-host, by the way.
I would love for nobody to beat him in the primary.
Oh, that would be great.
Yeah. So if you want to join us here, the toll-free number is 855-450-FREE. Was that a thing where you guys grew up like... Did you have a thing for your exit number?
I know it was a thing in New Jersey, but it wasn't a thing where I was. But I was too far away from like the city.
Yo 42.
Yeah.
Was it like that? I mean,
I had no admiration for the exit number of off the freeway that was nearest to the town I grew up in.
I don't even remember which exit number it was that I lived near. I think it was like 38 in Florida or something.
Yeah,
but I don't
think
know.
I remember, but I'm not sure, so I'm not going to say. But at the same time, I had no reverence for it whatsoever. It was a number on a sign.
I think it probably has more to do with where you are located. Surrounding the major city and something. Because I think the people further out don't care.
It is an illustration, though, of how in markets, naturally they develop standards across an industry, right? But when it comes to states, they're all over the place. Some are numbered sequentially. Some are numbered after the mile mark, because nobody can come to an agreement.
Florida changed before I moved here, so New Hampshire, I guess, has been holding out. And now you got the Department of Transportation trying to cram this down, but it still has to be approved by the legislature or the executive council, so it may not go through. More coming up here.
Good.
We can all agree these are troubled times, right? So do you know who's on your wireless network? Whether it's a big company selling your data or a foreign hacker, if you're not protected, everybody sees your information. That's why you need Flash Routers, a custom Wi-Fi router created for privacy. Flash Routers uses a virtual private network, or VPN, to protect your online activity from hackers, trackers, and large corporations. And not just one, but all your devices with one out-of-the-box setup. Plus, Flash Routers also enhances your wireless network performance and unlocks powerful router management tools to let you take total control of your network. Call or click Flash Routers today at 1-866-509-5817 or FLASHROUTERS.com. That's 1-866-509-5817 or FlashRouters.com. Protect your wireless home network today with Flash Routers.
Have you heard the warning from the Dead Doctors Don't Lie guy? I'm talking about Dr. Joel Wallach. He says if you have a 4-inch medical chart, if you take prescription drugs for high cholesterol or high blood pressure, arthritis, joint pains, or other health issues, the medical profession is failing you. They're using you for an ATM machine. That's what he says. He has a free lecture revealing what pharmaceutical companies don't want you to know. There's been groundbreaking research and discoveries on how to effectively treat or eliminate over 900 different diseases naturally. And it's all in his free lecture called Deadly Recipe. You want it free? Call him toll free at 855-79-YOUNG. You ready? 855-79-YOUNG. Dr. Joel Wallach, the Dead Doctors Don't Lie guy, says there's no reason why we shouldn't live to be at least 100 and have a great time getting there.
Free Talk Live, the show where anyone can call about whatever they want. And we do mean anyone.
No, I can understand the time cue, but what I know is wiser than anything else. Like God created one day, I've created 4 simultaneous days in one rotation of Earth.
At what point did you become the wisest human, Gene Ray?
Well, I've learned everything. When you know everything, there's nothing to know.
Okay, well, now, you said you're getting ready to write a book on it. When can we expect to see it?
No, I don't have a publisher yet. A lot of morning touch it, and so...
you touch it in the morning?
Well, sometimes, not much.
Yeah. How old are you, Dr. Gene Ray?
I'm 78. Well, I told this black lady down in St. Pete, I said, when you die, you're going to come back as a white person. I said, I'm going to come back as a black person. I'm going to hate you honkies.
Free Talk Live, 7 nights a week from 7 to 10 Eastern, live on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
So you've heard all 3 hours of the latest episode of Free Talk Live, and you're still hungry for liberty-oriented audio content? Did you know that we have another 24/7 audio stream at LRN.FM? The Liberty Radio Network airs the latest episodes of some of the best liberty-oriented podcasts on the internet around the clock. In addition to recorded content, you'll also hear live shows like Free Talk Live, originating from our Keene, New Hampshire studio. So listen anytime at LRN.FM. That's LRN.FM.
There are basically 2 types of advertising: direct response and branding. Radio's great for direct response with its low cost to listener ratio, but audio can't be beat for branding, which is a longer term endeavor. You want to be the first thing that someone thinks of when they think about your product or service. If you have a local business that you want kept top of mind in your community, call the station. If you need national reach, Free Talk Live's got around 200 radio stations, millions of monthly listening sessions, can suit all budgets, and if we don't think we're right for you, we'll tell you. Email me, mark@freetalklive.com.
You can put the Liberty Radio Network on the air in your area. Visit broadcast.lrn.fm to learn how. Broadcast.lrn.fm.
It's Free Talk Live. You bring up whatever you want, toll free here at 855-450 free like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. We have the Discord call-in line rooms over at discord.lrn.fm. You jump into one of those and you will sound like you're almost sitting here in the studio with us. It's Ian, Captain Kickass, and Chris here. And also I want to say thanks to MuseFan, who is a Free Talk Live Gold amplifier.
Ooh.
Contributing $10 a month to the AMP program. Thank you, MuseFan. Definitely appreciate that. The AMP program stands for Advertise, Market, and Promote. It is a way for you to help us get on more radio stations around the country, bring new internet listeners on board, expose new people to the ideas of freedom. So if you like Free Talk Live, you like what we do, please join the AMP program like MuseFan. You don't have to do $10. We asked for $5, but he did, or she did twice as much. So definitely appreciate that. It's ampamp.freetalklive.com. That's amp.freetalklive.com. We're talking about these angry protesters outside of shopping malls. Some Amazon workers walking out in Germany. The group that's protesting outside of various different retailers this year is Extinction Rebellion. Their website is rebellion.earth. What is it? Well, it's a bunch of people who are really mad about the environment and they want something to be done about it. And I'm on their website here. We'll talk a little bit more about what they supposedly believe. But first, a little more from the story at Fox News. They are protesting capitalism run amok. The group Extinction Rebellion tweeted Friday, quote, "We are living in a system of endless consumerism. Earth cannot sustain that, especially as we accelerate toward climate and ecological catastrophe." Are you guys scared?
Not really.
I mean, your impression of somebody, being dramatic was more scary, I think, than these people.
The group posted photos and videos purportedly showing activists protesting the holiday. Protesters shut down streets in Vancouver, Canada for a mock funeral procession. And they're showing on their Twitter feed here empty shopping carts. I guess they have their protesters going into various different stores, or at least this one store, and walking around pointlessly with nothing in their carts in sort of a line of non-customers.
How is that a protest?
I don't know.
I think this is a part of this buy nothing idea. Have you ever heard of Buy Nothing Day?
I have heard of that, actually. Yeah, it's, I'm sure, a very popular theme on the West Coast.
It says this is the Extinction Rebellion New York City tweet where they do hashtag Buy Nothing Day. So the idea behind this, we've talked about this over the years on Free Talk Live. The people who do these protests seem to think that they'll have some sort of an effect if they buy nothing today.
Yeah. You know what would be better is buy what you need. Because effectively, like, we all waste, you know, like, I don't know, well, I shouldn't say we all, but let's put it this way. I know I throw money at stuff that's just like, why? Why am I buying this? I will never use it. It's really cool, but I'll never use it, right? Like, just like, I don't know.
Do you do this a lot?
I see people, everybody around me doing it. Yeah.
Like, you said you do it, though. So
I do, yeah.
Give us an example of something you bought pointlessly.
Oh, I don't know. Like, okay, so I actually didn't buy this personally, but my partner did. And it comes to mind. All right, so there's this I don't know if you guys are familiar with this. I think Walmart was selling them and then they stopped selling them, but it's this Monopoly Socialist game.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's really cool, right?
We talked about it in great detail here on Free Talk Live.
That doesn't surprise me. But the point is, that game will never be opened and it will never be played.
Oh,
it's
so
cool.
He bought it as a collector's item?
Yeah, but it's not like, you know,
just frame it and call it art, man.
And there's all sorts of stuff like this that it's like, oh, this is really cool. Or buying the wrong thing, right? Like, I'm not careful enough, so I end up buying the wrong thing and I just hope it works. And when it doesn't, then I go and buy something else and I do a little bit more research, right? Just things of that nature, right? It's like, and then I don't return
I'm guilty
the
of
old
buying
thing
things that I don't like, that I won't use or won't use very often, but not very commonly. Like, and that's just because I just don't like. If I had the Monopoly Socialism game and during the time when it was crazy, I would have bought one, but they were like $100 on eBay. I don't know if you followed the story or if you heard about it, but the same thing happened this year with Monopoly Socialism as happened a year ago with the Monopoly for Millennials, where this controversial game, a version of Monopoly came out. It pissed off the socialists out there.
How do you play that? You open it up and just divvy out the money equally?
No, it's like a complete. They skewered socialism basically. So there's all kinds of insults towards socialism in this game. I don't know how you play it. I've never played it.
Now I want to play it.
But well, maybe you should talk to Bob. Apparently, he's got a copy of it.
Can we have game night on Free Talk Live?
I don't think it would go to on the air, but
it wouldn't work on the air.
I think it'd be something that would be fun. Like if he did want to, if he wanted to make a game night and have, you know, you guys wanted to have people over to your house, I bet you'd find people who were willing to go try this game.
Yeah,
out.
I mean, maybe.
I think
I don't have
fun.
time for that kind of stuff.
Well, that's the thing. Monopoly takes a long time to play, right?
Right. This is what I'm talking about. Like, there's so much stuff like I would love to do, but I just don't have time for it.
I know.
Isn't socialist?
And so I buy this stuff and I never get to using it or whatever.
Isn't socialist monopoly just an oxymoron? Just when you say it.
I guess
monopolies are technically a product of crony capitalism, right?
True.
And then
I mean,
socialists.
Well, the crazy thing about Monopoly it wasn't originally supposed to be like anti-capitalist.
It was.
So
it was against rent.
Socialist Monopoly is.
Oh, I thought
it's come around. It's come full circle.
Yeah, right.
I thought it was a parody of the Federal Reserve,
or maybe not full circle, but 180 degrees. It's gone to where they're making fun of socialists now, whereas the original designer of the game was anti-capitalism.
They made modifications before it became popular, so I don't know, but it definitely was. I think it was supposed to be a teaching tool of like why monopolies are bad and why socialism is good, or something to that effect. Because
no, I believe it was
always
originally
ends up with
against
one
landlords.
person. It always ends up being like one person, you know, having everything, owning everything, and that's what it was. That's how it was supposed to teach you that, like, you know, capitalism bad, socialism good.
We should invent the statist version of Monopoly.
The toll-free number here tonight is 855-450 free like freedom. So anyway, they're complaining about so-called consumerism. And is there, you know, some waste out there in the world? Sure. Yeah, there definitely is.
No doubt about it.
But are you going to really somehow stop that from happening by parading around a grocery store or a department store with a bunch of empty shopping carts, or begging the government to change things for you? Because if you go to their website and you click on, let's see, our demands.
I don't know about you guys, but over the years I've seen so many different protests of different things and different styles and different subgroups and all that kind of thing. And like really the only effective protests that I've ever seen are ones where they're armed. Those are the effective protests.
Well, you don't have to worry about the climate protesters arming themselves because they're probably against guns as well. Although some of these lefties have armed themselves with like pee bottles or whatever and have dumped those on people and, put
pee
excrement.
bottles?
Yeah, urine, human urine.
Oh.
Yeah. Here are their 3 demands. This is the Extinction Rebellion at rebellion.earth. Number 1, government must tell the truth. Well, you're already... Sorry. Doesn't matter who you elect.
And when you start with the most impossible demand...
And then here's the rest of the sentence. Must tell the truth by declaring a climate and ecological emergency, working with other institutions to communicate the urgency for change. 2, they say government must act now to halt biodiversity loss and reduce greenhouse gas emissions to net zero by 2025. And 3, government must create and be led by the decisions of a citizens' assembly on climate and ecological justice.
How about
whatever
we just
that
get
means.
rid of the government and solve our problems in the first? Like the economic damage from the government is more than anything else.
But Chris, you can't get rid of the government. Then the corporations will have total control over everything.
Corporations are dependent on IP law, and if we get rid of IP law, because that's dependent on government, you magically will solve that problem.
Yeah,
I mean, it's
these people are insane, and to think that like they can establish some sort of department within the government, and somehow more taxation is going to solve climate change.
Right. As though the government can fix things. As though the government
Name
can
a thing the government has fixed.
Right. What is a citizens' assembly is the next section here. And now it gets a little more wordy. Citizens' assemblies are innovative processes that can empower people, communities, and entire countries to make important decisions in a way that is fair and deeply democratic. The Citizens' Assembly on Climate and Ecological Justice will bring together ordinary people to investigate, discuss, and make recommendations on how to respond to the climate emergency. Similar to jury service, that means it'll be mandatory. We'll tell you more about the Citizens' Assembly here in moments. 855 450 free. They've got a vision, and they want to force it down your throat. 855-450-3733. These are the people who are protesting outside of various different retailers today. Coming up also, we got more things to talk about, including a crackdown on ride sharing and home sharing in different cities across the United States. More coming up.
Bitcoin.com has launched a trading platform at local.bitcoin.com, allowing you to buy or sell Bitcoin Cash via dozens of payment methods like PayPal, Venmo, bank deposit, remittances, or meeting in person with cash. There are no ID requirements to sign up for and use the site, and all communications between buyers and sellers are encrypted. Finally, a global trading platform that respects your privacy. Visit local.bitcoin.com to get started trading Bitcoin Cash. local.bitcoin.com.
Anarchapulco is the world's foremost conference for voluntarist thinkers and activists, held in beautiful Acapulco, Mexico. Share ideas on how to live free and escape the clutches of the state. Their unparalleled lineup of speakers will discuss entrepreneurship, investments, politics, philosophy, health, sustainability, lifestyles, and personal relationships. Stay in a world-class resort and enjoy the sun and beaches. February the 13th through the 16th, visit anarchapulco.com for early bird pricing and 10% off with coupon code FTL.
What do you shop for that you could otherwise buy at Amazon? Pretty much everything, right? Amazon has competitive pricing and they deliver, and that's a big plus. If you could plan ahead in your shopping, would you be interested in saving up to 33%? There's a catch. You have to do your shopping in Bitcoin. But imagine those savings. It's like a huge raise. All you have to do is go to saveitpurse.com. We've saved thousands, and you can too. Plan ahead and save. Saveitpurse.com.
If you want to know the latest about Free Talk Live before we go on the air, all you need to decide is how you want it delivered. It's your choice. Visit news.freetalklive.com to receive our usually weekly news updates by email. Plus, we have a Twitter account at twitter.freetalklive.com, and you can follow us on the decentralized Mastodon platform at toot.freetalklive.com. So please follow us at toot.freetalklive.com and sign up for our emails at news.freetalklive.com.
You're listening to the live edition of Free Talk Live. Hour number 3 is next after the news here on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
This is the Liberty Beat, your daily source for Liberty news and activist updates. Produced in partnership with SNLS News and listeners like you. Online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. I'm Mick Murrow with your latest edition of the Liberty Beat. Gold is trading at $1,464, silver at $17.01, and Bitcoin is trading around $7,749. Today's prices are brought to you by InnoScale. Take off with Managed Cloud. Looking for a safe, secure way to store your important files online? Let InnoScale handle it for you. Their high-availability cloud servers are the perfect solution for clients needing one or more secure, scalable servers with built-in hardware failover protection. For details, see them online at innoscale.net. In the news, on Tuesday, U.S. President Donald Trump signed an executive order establishing a task force to tackle what he called the sobering and heartbreaking issue of missing and murdered Indigenous women. The president added that such action, quote, should have been done a long time ago, end quote. The new task force, Operation Lady Justice, will be overseen by U.S. Attorney General William Barr and Interior Secretary David Bernhardt. Barr announced a plan, the Missing and Murdered Indigenous Persons Initiative, to address the crisis on Friday during a visit with tribal leaders in Montana at the Flathead Reservation. The signing comes as U.S. states, including Minnesota, also move to create task forces to tackle the issue. It's been well known for years among North America's indigenous population that Native women face some of the continent's highest rates of sexual violence, murder, and domestic abuse. The Liberty Beat is sponsored in part by Brave Botanicals. High-quality kratom and CBD at reasonable prices with excellent customer service. Brave Botanicals is activist-owned and mission-driven and believes so strongly in the power of kratom, they're giving it away for free. Just go to freeounceofkratom.com for a free ounce of kratom delivered to your door. Just pay shipping. That's freeounceofkratom.com. This is the latest edition of the Liberty Beat. Find us online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. Your news now continues. Since January of this year, around 250 students at a fake university in Michigan have been arrested by U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement on immigration violations. The Mind Unleashed reports that in March, ICE reported that only 161 students had been arrested. The arrests are part of Paper Chase, a sting operation that lured foreign-born would-be students to enroll at the University of Farmington, a fake university offering graduate programs in technology and computer studies. The school was created by the Department of Homeland Security and is believed to have collected and kept millions of dollars in fees paid by students. Students, most of which were from India, enrolled at the University of Farmington and had legally entered the U.S. on student visas. The fake university, where over 600 students were enrolled, was staffed with undercover agents posing as school officials and was shut down in January. According to records filed with Michigan's Department of Licensing and Regulatory Affairs, the school was officially incorporated in January 2016. The school was legitimately accredited by the Accrediting Commission of Career Schools and Colleges. For the second year in a row, the U.S. Food and Drug Administration has designated psilocybin, the psychedelic compound found in many of the most popular hallucinogenic mushrooms, as a breakthrough therapy for the treatment of major depressive disorder. Treatments that are classified as breakthrough therapies are fast-tracked through the development and review process, which is often an extremely slow process filled with mountains of paperwork. The Mind Unleashed reports the classification is not taken lightly and is only granted in cases where a large body of evidence shows that the new therapy is a significant improvement to its alternatives. Typically, drug companies apply for the designation, which is either approved or denied by the FDA. Last year, the first breakthrough therapy designation for psilocybin was granted to the company Compass Pathways. The latest designation was granted to the U.S.-based nonprofit Usona Institute. Support for the Liberty Beat comes from the Conscious Resistance Network, featuring videos, news reports, and articles from a spiritual anarchist perspective. Experience the Conscious Resistance at theconsciousresistance.com. How would you like to have your business featured on the Liberty Beat? You can. Just send an email to libertybeat@snls.news for details. This is the Liberty Beat, produced in partnership with SNLS News and listeners like you. The Liberty Beat is online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. I'm Mick Murrow, reporting for the Liberty Beat, reminding you, spread liberty with a smile.
Odds are, if you've looked outside recently, you've noticed that all dogs everywhere are running. Scientists can't explain why all over the world dogs of every breed are running nonstop. I'm joined now by animal behavior expert Dr. Charles Davenport. Charles, what can you tell us?
All we know for sure is that the dogs are running fast.
But we don't know why the dogs are running?
There are a few reasons that dogs normally run. Because they're excited or scared, or they see something they want far away, or because they're happy. However, usually, they don't run at the same time or in the same direction.
Do we have any idea where the dogs are running?
West. All the dogs are running west.
Do we expect the dogs to ever stop running?
We don't know. Animal behavior can evolve over time. Maybe running forever is just what the dogs do now.
Dr. Davenport, is there any chance that the running dogs are somehow related to last night's blue meteor shower? Or the fact that horses are screaming?
Inconclusive.
Well, please keep us posted. Up next, where are all the children?
This is the Onion News Network.
Free Talk Live.
It is Free Talk Live, launching into the third hour here of this live Black Friday edition of the show. In the studio, it's Ian.
It's Tom Likas, and you've got to dump that bitch.
God.
And Chris.
Tom Likas, blow me up, Tom.
I'm just kidding. It's Captain Kickass.
He wears sunglasses inside, by the way. Tom Likas. Every time I see him at the talk show conventions, he's always got sunglasses on. He's probably high as hell or drunk.
You actually did a better impression of him than I did.
Yeah.
Thanks for upstaging me. Appreciate that.
855 450 free like freedom. We're talking about these protests outside and inside retailers across the planet. These groups for environmental change are out there doing various different things. Apparently a movement called the Sunrise Movement that has helped promote the Green New Deal, which we talked about a few months ago on Free Talk Live.
So if pro is the opposite of con, is a protest the opposite of a contest?
That's a good question. They swarmed a large Water Tower Place shopping mall in Chicago. In D.C., Jane Fonda led a protest as part of a series called Fire Drill Fridays. In a post retweeted by Fonda, the group claimed that, quote, 38 people were arrested demanding food justice. Now, what exactly is food justice?
My apple, its rights have been infringed upon. It needs justice.
I mean, I presume that has to do with, like, people are hungry somewhere, but I don't think that's in the United States.
Food justice.
People are pretty well fed around here.
I think if you go into most prisons, you're probably going to find that there's people who are not getting sufficient.
I doubt that's what they're talking about.
The quality of the food, in at least when I went to public school, I mean, that food needed some justice.
Yeah,
right?
I would definitely agree with you there. I remember being hungry in elementary school because lunch was not fulfilling enough.
That stuff could barely pass as food.
I would agree with you. I think definitely children in prisons.
So it goes on with, some of the things these people are doing, but I did bring up the website for this Extinction Rebellion at rebellion.earth. That's their URL.
I'm against extinction.
Yes, but can you rebel against extinction? That's what they're trying to do by creating new government programs.
Sure, but you're not going to get anywhere.
This one is called the Citizens Assembly, which they say will empower people by forcing them into service. They say that members will be randomly selected from across the country to join this Citizens Assembly on Climate and Ecological Justice. They will be designed to ensure the assembly reflects the whole country in terms of characteristics such as gender, age, ethnicity, education level, and geography.
Okay, so let's stop right here because the one thing I want to point out is that like half or more of the United States doesn't even believe in climate change. So like I don't necessarily think you're going to achieve what you want.
They don't want those people.
What you need is a biased group of people who are do believe in climate change in order to have an impact if that's what your objective is.
I would like to add that the age-old quip that at least us in the studio are familiar with. If your idea requires force, it's not a good idea.
Not a good idea.
I would agree with that. And I'm not even, and what's funny is I'm like not even necessarily saying that I don't think that the climate is changing. I would agree with it, generally speaking. And I do think that the humans have had an impact on the climate.
You think so?
I think so. Yeah. I mean, it seems like unlikely that we haven't, whether or not.
I like Gene, the Christian anarchist view that we're basically ants and we have no real effect on things.
Well, that's what George Carlin said, right? The ego of humans to think that, we're going to have some sort of impact and kill. No, the earth, when it's done with us, it's going to shake us off like a bad case of fleas.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's unreal to think that we're having no impact, but, whether or not, we should do something about it, or I think that's all up for debate, right?
Well, if somebody wants to do something voluntarily, like get an electric car or something like that, by all means. Of course, then again, they pointed out that the batteries in the electric cars are incredibly ecologically bad to create or whatever.
But do something other than involve the use of violence and force to get your idea across. Invent a new thing.
Right. And I think you're right, but at the same time, it's not even like. Here's the problem that I have with taking these people seriously. It's not even so much that. Proposing to do something with force, right? Like, I could understand it if they were proposing to do something forcefully that actually made sense to positively impact the environment, but they're not. They're proposing things that just are ridiculous. That'll have absolutely no effect on the environment, and totally ignoring the things that, if they actually try to use force to, solve those other issues. That are actually the things that are really impacting the environment negatively, the big ones that they could actually,
like the government.
Yeah, right. And I'm not even thinking in the government specifically, but there's certain industries or certain. I'm not even sure exactly. What I'm.
There's companies that rent government lands and then strip mine it and clear cut it.
Yeah,
I mean, I'm still worried about nuclear waste, right? That's a concern.
Yeah,
right. They bury it and then what? It just sits there and it goes on for multiple generations, and some barrel's going to rust out or whatever.
I'm not even so much
leak out.
I'm not even so much concerned about that, right? I think they probably can safely store that, in certain parts of, the the geography is safe to store it for long enough where it's not going to be so much an issue. It's just that it's probably more. I don't know. It's just certain things that are not. I don't know. Just
okay. Assembly members will hear balanced information from experts and those most affected by the emergency. Members will speak openly and honestly in small groups with the aid of professional facilitators. Together, they'll work through their differences and draft and vote on recommendations. The Citizens Assembly will be run by non-governmental organizations under independent oversight. This is the fairest and most powerful way to cut through party politics. It will empower citizens to actually work together to take responsibility for our climate and ecological emergency.
And how are they going to pay for that?
That's a good question. They say here, it isn't pie in the sky, it's proven practice. Citizens' assemblies around the world have shown that ordinary people can understand complex information, weigh the options, and make informed choices. And then they give some examples of what they claim is true. They say they're used to address important issues that electoral politics can't fix on its own. In recent years, Ireland's Citizen Assembly broke the deadlock on two controversial issues, same-sex marriage and abortion. The recommendations of the Citizens Assembly informed public debate and provided politicians cover to make the necessary changes. A subsequent Citizens Assembly on climate change produced a series of recommendations that were incorporated into the Irish government's action plan. See, if we just force everybody to come together and have a conversation, we can figure out how to force everybody to do things. This is their big plan.
Amen.
Yep. Let's go to Tommy. He's in Georgia, listening online. Go ahead, Tommy. You're on Free Talk Live.
Hey, good evening, gentlemen.
Hey, Tommy.
Hey, Tommy.
I got selected for jury duty.
Oh, really?
And I really don't know how to feel about it. I mean,
you want to get out of it?
Of course, I don't want it. Well, part of me does, but at the same time, it's like, is it something that I don't? Well, here's the biggest thing. is if I do get selected for some reason and I can't get out of it, I don't want to be put in a situation where I have to violate my principles to appease the system.
So don't just vote innocent, vote not guilty.
Well, now hold on. You probably only want to vote not guilty if the person is actually someone who hasn't harmed another person. Like if he's on a murder
I would vote not
trial,
guilty either way, only because the system itself is so corrupt that we can't believe what's being presented before us. So,
okay, but what if the dude on trial is like, yeah, I murdered and raped that child?
I don't care. Well, then there wouldn't be a trial. I mean, he would have pleaded guilty, so that doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, I see what you're saying there. But
I think for the caller, there's two things you can do. One, if you want to get out of it, you go in or you call them up and you're like, I can spot a guilty person a mile away. Like, okay, sir, you've been deselected. The other option, of course, is to keep nullification in mind. If you're familiar with jury nullification, keep that in mind as you go through it.
And that's what I meant by, vote not guilty.
Nullification is your right to judge the law itself, where you can vote based on your feelings. They will tell you in the court that you have to vote based on the facts, and that's not true. You can say, well, it doesn't matter. You caught this guy with 5 pounds of marijuana. He's facing, years in prison. If you think the war on drugs should be ended, even though they caught him red-handed and he violated the law, you can still say not guilty, even though all the facts show that he was guilty, because you have a conscience. Tommy, that's our best recommendations. Thanks for the call tonight. Let us know how it goes if you want. So appreciate hearing from you. 855-450 free like freedom. You can join us on the radio. This is Free Talk Live.
Does your dog itch, scratch, stink, or shed like crazy? Come to Dinovite for help.
Order a 90-day supply of Dinovite.
Dinovite is nutrition.
Pick up 2 bottles of Lico Chops. Get the 3rd bottle free.
New improved Lico Chops with omega-3, omega-6, vitamin E.
And now, 6 extra direct-fed microbials.
Even better for the digestive tract and immune system.
Try Lico Chops. Buy 2, get 1 free.
At Dinovite.com.
DINOVITE.com.
I can definitely say that I have found the best cryptocurrency wallet. Certainly the best named one. I'm Mark Edge, and I love the Edge wallet. I've been using it for the last few months. You can buy, sell, trade, and hold your cryptocurrency securely. I trust my holdings of all the major cryptocurrencies to Edge Wallet, and you should too. No long phrases to memorize, just a username and password. Secure your freedom with Edge Wallet. Get it now on Apple or Android in the App Store or at edge.app. The next generation wallet is coming from Divvy. In just a few taps, you'll be able to send, earn, spend, and exchange digital money in seconds. Send money around the globe with only a swipe. Instantly exchange between Divvy, Bitcoin, and fiat right in the mobile app and withdraw directly to your bank account. Divvy already offers the first one-tap solution for earning passive income with crypto. Multi-tiered masternodes allow everyone to partake in the network. Visit DivvyProject.org. DivvyProject.org. Anarchapulco is the world's foremost conference for voluntarist thinkers and activists, held in beautiful Acapulco, Mexico. Share ideas on how to live free and escape the clutches of the state. Their unparalleled lineup of speakers will discuss entrepreneurship, investments, politics, philosophy, health, sustainability, lifestyles, and personal relationships. Stay in a world-class resort and enjoy the sun and beaches. February the 13th through the 16th, visit anarchapulco.com for early bird pricing and 10% off with coupon code FTL.
The political world is a maddening cesspool of corruption and lies. Nobody tells the truth. Nobody keeps campaign promises. Nobody obeys the Constitution. Nobody puts the people first. How can we ever escape this web of tyranny? Vote for nobody.
Hi, my name is Nobody. I'm running for governor of New Hampshire because nobody knows how to live your life better than you do, and nobody deserves that kind of power. I want to put you back in control of your money, your lifestyle, your work, your body, and your life. Nobody should rule you but you. New Hampshire convicts many people of so-called crimes that should never have been prosecuted. If elected, I will pardon every victimless crime in New Hampshire history. This includes drug, gambling, prostitution, gun, and driving offenses. Nobody should have a criminal record when they have not harmed anybody.
Wouldn't it be nice to have nobody telling you what to do? Learn more at electnobody.com. electnobody.com.
There are lots of ways to listen to Free Talk Live. Our podcast has been around since podcasts began, and now the FTL feed is loaded with content besides our full show archives. Did you know that we make it easy for you to customize your podcast subscriptions? We have different feeds, one that includes only our full shows, one with just the Daily Digest, and one with just the Edgington Post. You decide what you listen to. It's quick and easy to customize your feeds at feeds.freetalklive.com. That's feeds.freetalklive.com.
Looking for a great real estate investment? Consider New Hampshire, which is ground zero for the Liberty Movement. Your first call should be to Mark Worden from Porcupine Real Estate. He's more than just a real estate agent. He's your New Hampshire concierge. Where are the best places to live? Do you want farm, city, the burbs, or forest? Do you want a duplex or multifamily building so that renters pay your mortgage? There are homes in all price ranges in New Hampshire, and Mark can help with financing too. Invest in liberty and property. Mark Worden can help.
PorcupineRealEstate.com. Help get LRN.FM into more ears. Visit promote.lrn.fm for a free bumper sticker, flyers, banners, graphics, and more. Promote.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live. You bring up what you want here. You can take control of the airwaves toll free at 855-450-FREE like freedom. It's 855-450-3733. Bitcoin.com, great website with lots of information and features, including one of their newest features, local.bitcoin.com, which allows you to buy and sell Bitcoin Cash. You can use dozens of payment methods, and it's a global trading platform that respects your privacy, meaning there's no ID requirement to sign up for and to use the website. And that's something that's valuable to a lot of people. If you care about privacy and you want to buy or sell Bitcoin Cash, you should get on over to local.bitcoin.com. There's no ID requirements to sign up, and the communications between buyers and sellers there are encrypted. It's local.bitcoin.com. And by the way, I'm there. I've got some sale offers up there on pretty much a daily basis. So if you're looking to buy or sell Bitcoin Cash, check it out. Local.bitcoin.com. Let's change gears here and get into the latest attack on Uber and Lyft. We've been kind of covering these ride-sharing services for years here on Free Talk Live because, we like innovation on Free Talk Live. We like the marketplace in action and watching and seeing what happens when somebody comes in and shakes up or disrupts an existing business model. And while I have critiques of Uber as a business and the way they run their business, I still appreciate what they did.
Oh yeah, those businesses have single-handedly done more to prevent drunk driving accidents than any government has ever or could ever.
Yeah, that I think is true. It's correlative, so you can't really 100% for sure say it was them. But
as a guy who has drank plenty in his life, I can tell you that me personally and many of my friends at least have used the Uber and Lyft type services. When
in
going out and partying,
and in times where otherwise you might have driven home. You mean?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. We got to a point where we'd plan it, right? Everybody meet at Bob's house, and we'll do a little pre-funk, have a couple of cocktails, and then everybody will get a big Uber, and everybody Uber down to the show, and we'll go see a concert or whatever.
And the price of the Uber is a fraction of what you'd have to pay in fines and fees for getting busted DUI.
Oh, and also a fraction of the cost of like a taxi or to rent a town car for the evening, or something like that.
And it gets there faster, and so on and so forth.
I was just thinking about like getting in an accident.
That too.
Like that's what comes to my mind. Not even the arrest or any of those other factors that might come into play. But I think a sane person, that's what they should be thinking of is, and I don't want to get in an accident.
And you can look at the numbers too. When Uber comes into a new market and you look at the numbers pre-Uber of DUIs, and then you look at the numbers post-Uber, it's down. And now, so again, it's correlative, not necessarily causation, but it's interesting correlation.
I mean,
it's repeatable.
I think it's like logically it follows regardless of whether or not it's correlation or not. It's like, this is like this is kind of like
so
obvious, like
it is
what's going on.
It is very obvious, and since the government has done so much and given Uber and Lyft so much assistance in becoming the businesses that they are, the government has decided that it's now going to take some money from these businesses on a ride-by-ride
You were being
basis.
facetious. The government hasn't assisted Uber except for attacking it.
You detected my sarcasm
okay, good.
very, very quickly.
Good.
Yes.
Just making sure.
Yeah, they've done nothing. They're not a partner of these businesses
No,
in
they
any
hate
way.
them.
They do. They hate them.
They have
actively
been
hate
in the
them.
pocket. The government goons have been in the pockets of the taxi cab companies in most major metros for decades.
It's profit that motivates regulations in many cases, and this is a great example of
Meaning when they see a profitable company, they come in and try to take a piece of the action.
Right.
While
providing no additional value.
I'm talking about what is government? I mean, the government is
It's a
basically
criminal enterprise.
A criminal enterprise, but who is behind it, right? In this case, it's the taxi monopolies that have been created in the taxi industry, which profits off of that system. They've got these regulations passed for a reason in order to keep out their competitors. And so now there's this company that's coming in, or multiple companies coming in. There are tech companies that are, basically saying, well, we don't care about your regulations, and so these politicians are, they're benefiting from these.
Right, they built a better system, a better way to do it instead of operating within what
and
exists.
without asking permission. That was what they did right.
It's my favorite part.
Uber just did it, and the governments got caught off guard. They didn't know what had happened until it was already done, and there was Uber cars everywhere. Yep. And then they started coming up with these legislative solutions and taxes and regulations, and that's when Uber started fighting big time with a bunch of attorneys, which of course is probably one of the reasons why they're not a profitable company. So they got their own problems as far as how they run their business. But what's the news?
Well, this
Captain?
from Seattle, Washington, of all places.
Your former home.
My former home. I played in heavy metal bands there for 22 years or so before coming to New Hampshire. And so, I mean, this one, hits my former home and a little in the pocketbook anyway. The Seattle City Council okays a new 57-cent tax on Uber and Lyft rides. The Seattle City Council is moving ahead with a new tax on Uber and Lyft rides pitched by Mayor Jenny Durkin as a way to fund affordable housing. As a way to fund affordable housing, the delayed downtown streetcar, and new support for the drivers who work on ride-hailing apps.
Boy, it's just going to do everything.
This gets really interesting.
By the way, before you go on, the affordable housing is expensive in Seattle because of the government getting in the way and preventing new houses from being built by people in the market.
Create the problem, then masquerade as the solution.
Yeah.
That's the MO.
Typical.
Durkin and the council have also promised to ensure Uber and Lyft drivers make Seattle's $16 minimum wage starting next summer. But the city first plans to study driver pay.
You realize that these people need the $16 minimum wage because of your regulations. They can't afford the housing because you've regulated the housing market, which increased the cost of the housing, which is what... Yeah.
Okay. This is pretty crazy. I mean, it sounds like they want to drive Uber and Lyft out of Seattle.
Of course they do.
Well, and so, we'll get into it, but there's a little bit later in the article where it talks about the original proposal was like a much higher fee.
Oh, they're being reasonable.
And they've lowered it to 57 cents. And so, but this is how it always happens. They get their foot in the door. Once they get their foot in the door,
then they jack it up.
Then they're going to jack it up.
And you know what? I wouldn't be surprised if Uber came out at some point and supported some sort of regulation because it'll keep out other competitors. Yeah. I mean, I know
that's one of the reasons why Uber is not great because they came to New Hampshire and they proposed the text of what they call the TNC regulations, which stands for Transport Networking Company, I believe is what that stands for. That's the legalese term for ride sharing. And so who wrote it? Uber did.
Yeah.
And it's because they wanted to keep out competition. Exactly what you said.
It doesn't surprise me at all. It just people have this impression, right? Like they have this impression that like these laws, that there's actually some sort of issue with home sharing or Uber or Lyft.
Oh, we'll get into home sharing coming up. I've got a story about that.
But most of that it's FUD.
Fear, uncertainty, and doubt.
Right. Yep. From the opposing side, whoever's profiting currently, whether it's the hotel industry or, the taxi cabs or whoever it is, they're the ones funding, that fear, FUD.
We got more on this coming up here. Captain, you're going to share more from the story. And this is ridiculous, saying they want to force a minimum wage on Uber drivers, which would be the first time, by the way, in the United States that such a thing would have even been tried. There have been some lawsuits that have been trying, like in California, to reclassify the drivers from contractors to employees, but it hasn't been successful as of yet. So if they actually do try to force a minimum wage, I suspect Uber and Lyft are going to skip town.
Our history classes start teaching the Constitution around 1776 or even later. The foundation of our Constitution goes deeper than that. Without examining the context that gave America its principles and its founding documents, we cannot understand the foundation of our liberty and our constitutional republic. Liberty First University teaches online classes in a way that all ages find compelling and understandable, from middle school to law school. Join us at lfu.freetalklive.com to watch the free pre-recorded webinar. Watch now at lfu.freetalklive.com.
Have you heard of LibertyCon? LibertyCon is not only a convention with great speakers like Whole Foods CEO and co-founder John Mackey and Nobel Prize winner Vernon Smith, but it's also unique because you get a chance to network with more than 70 pro-liberty organizations, one-on-one for the purpose of career advancement, business, and internship opportunities. April 3rd through 5th in Washington, D.C. You can learn more by visiting LibertyCon.com and use code FTL for a $10 discount on your registration. That's LibertyCon.com. Is spreading the message of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace around the globe worth $2 per month to you? As you may already know, in addition to our internet feed, LRN.FM broadcasts on free-to-air satellite across North and Central America, as well as Sub-Saharan Africa. And we've been available on satellite for free 24/7 since 2010. The LRN.FM free-to-air satellite signal is reaching some of the most oppressive regimes in the world, and there's no doubt our ideas are making an impact. You can learn more about the channel's impact by watching the 3-minute video at fund.lrn.fm. If you'd like to help free minds globally with our ideas of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace, you can donate as little as $2 per month via fund.lrn.fm. You can help us continue and expand our satellite broadcast to multiple continents. Visit fund.lrn.fm today, and thank you for your help. Don't forget to share the link on social media. That's fund.lrn.fm.
Are you tired of governments murdering people around the world? Stop using their money. There is an alternative. Bitcoin is a stateless, free market, non-political currency. Bitcoin cannot be inflated or controlled by any government. By using their money, you are helping the state. Stop doing it. You have an incredible alternative available now. Learn it, use it, spread it.
Get started with Bitcoin at bitcoin.com. That's bitcoin.com.
LRN.FM now has a Discord. Discord is a free text and voice chat platform, and we now have our own server with a bunch of channels at discord.lrn.fm. You can join other listeners as they chat about various things during our live shows, or anytime, day or night. Discord software is available cross-platform, so you can have it on whatever device you want and take your chats anywhere. Join our Discord at discord.lrn.fm. That's discord.lrn.fm.
I've been told no in many different ways.
I give you an order and you're going to obey it.
George, you can go this way. You can do that and you have to leave here.
You cannot bring signs into the rally.
Walk with me. Well, I'm comfortable here, actually. Whoa. Hey. Who do you think you are? Excuse me.
There is no video or audio allowed in this office.
No, I have work today.
You ain't going to make it.
Wait a minute.
Whoa. Hey! Oh my God! Unbelievable!
Why are you running from me? Because you scared me. What am I being detained for?
You're being served.
What is this?
You're being served.
What is this? Bureaucrats have a funny way of telling people no.
That's the sound of the men working on the chain.
Derek J's Victimless Crime Spree. Watch it for free and order the Director's Cut DVD at victimlesscrimespree.com.
Some of our live shows are streamed in HD on Twitch. Please follow and share at twitch.lrn.fm. That's twitch.lrn.fm.
Free Talk Live. We're here. We'll take your calls and thoughts about what you want. If you want to jump in with us, you can do that. Our toll-free number is 855-450-FREE like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. More on the ridiculous plans to tax ride-sharing companies and punish the passengers, of course, there in Seattle in a moment. But first, are you sick and tired of Washington politicians making decisions about you and your family's health care? Obamacare, which was supposed to be affordable health care with a choice. You didn't actually believe that, did you? It's turned into high-priced insurance with little choice. The team at BetterPlans.net believes there's a way to do health insurance better, and they figured out how. Call them at 800-714-1802 to get a fast and free quote. The truth is, you can get affordable healthcare plans that cost hundreds of dollars less per month, but the first step is to become aware of how the wool's been pulled over your eyes. You can download their free ebook, Dirty Little Secrets, at betterplans.net. You can see their sample pricing for plans that are every bit as good as the major providers for as little as $145 per month for a single, and even greater savings for families and businesses. Gain access to their educational videos and a free quote, plus your free ebook, Dirty Little Secrets, at betterplans.net. Obamacare's enrollment deadline is December 15th, so don't delay on this. Visit betterplans.net or call them at 800-714-1802. So, Captain Kickass, you've got the story from the Seattle Times here saying that not only are they going to tax every single ride 57 cents in, and when does this start, by the way? Is this
I want to say 2020, but
probably,
don't quote me on that. I think
a lot of things start in the beginning of 2020, so probably pretty soon. And they claim it's going to help pay for affordable housing, downtown streetcar, so they want to compete with Uber and Lyft with money from Uber and Lyft, and support for drivers who work on the ride-hailing apps, claiming they want to cram a $16 minimum wage down and give that to the drivers starting next summer.
Right. The new tax is a city effort to capitalize on the wild growth of the ride-hailing industry. However, it stops short of a more widespread tolling scheme some say is necessary to truly address congestion.
It doesn't go far enough,
choking downtown
critics.
Streets, right? And furthermore, they're going to kind of sort of blame Uber and Lyft for congestion here in a minute. Durkin's administration has explored the concept of congestion pricing, in which all drivers downtown would pay a toll.
Oh, wow.
Right. Because, they didn't already pay for the roads.
They proposed this in London. I don't remember if they put it in, where the idea was that if you go into the downtown area during certain hours, so like the daytime, for instance,
I'm pretty sure they did do that,
and
they did it not just in London, but in other cities as well in Europe.
Now, in theory, if that were something that came about of the marketplace, that could come about, right? Like if road owners wanted to reduce the number of people on their roads, they could price based on the time of the day, right? Like you get a better deal if you go late at night.
Maybe, but like you would think that the businesses in the area would
be upset. With that,
they'd be upset with that because they want more traffic. I mean, think about when a business owner is looking at like where to set up, they're going to look at where's the traffic rate is, who has the most traffic, and that's what they're going to set up. So it contradicts like what you would expect from the market, panning things out.
Right. The proposals split Uber and Lyft drivers, with some arguing more of the money should support drivers instead of projects like the streetcar, and some worrying that higher costs could discourage people from taking rides. I mean, right? You're going to raise the price because who's going to eat the 57 cents? The drivers? Nope. It's going to be passed on to the consumer. We see this time and time again.
There's no benefit to the driver from this, even if they get a fraction of this, because they're not going to get it's 57 cents a ride. How much you think they're going to give to the drivers?
Durkin's office considered a much higher fee before announcing the 57-cent fee, internal records show. An April presentation from the mayor's office staff outlined the fee of up to $3 per ride,
man.
with $1.50 on all rides. And another $1.50 on rides in certain neighborhoods. I don't know, which neighborhoods.
Well, and it's
during
just
morning and evening rush hour specifically.
Well, and it's just like you said, Chris. They got to get their nose in under the tent, right? So, it's all. Well, look, we took it down. We heard you, people. We heard you. You don't want these prices to go too crazy.
It sounds
only
reasonable.
57. It's only 57
but it's
cents, less than the price of a newspaper. So, but then a year later, it'll be $1.50.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Durkin's office negotiated with Lyft, Uber, and the Teamsters Local 117 throughout the summer. And announced the tax in September.
The Teamsters Local 117. I bet you they're taxi drivers. What do you want to bet?
Oh,
I put money on it.
Great question, but it seems like a reasonable thing. If only there was a way for us to find out.
I
if
will
that
find
were
out.
True.
Yeah, there's going to be a search done here very shortly, and we're going to know.
Anybody who knows me outside of the show is like, they know my catchphrase. If only there were a device.
Yes.
I'm constantly raining that on folks.
Yeah.
While you're looking that up, the mayor decreased the fee for fear of hurting demand for rides, according to her office. Our goal
wasn't the whole objective that they were using. We have too much traffic.
Right.
We need to charge them more, right? Like as if that's supposed to reduce the amount of traffic. But then, the amount of hypocrisy that comes out of these people's mouths is just unbelievable.
Speaking of which, here's a quote from said political entity. Our goal is to balance achieving our policy objectives and not create harm to the drivers whose industry we are working to improve. Durkin
thanks so much.
Chelsea Kellogg said in an email. Right, that's a quote.
They're going to improve the industry.
How are politicians working to improve an industry they had no hand in creating?
It's just a straight up lie.
Politicians
don't make things better for any industry anywhere. Unless they're protecting an industry from competition and keeping out innovators, which is one of the things they do. The Teamsters actually in this area, this Teamsters 117, apparently actually represent 16,000, they say, plus men and women at 200 employers, including warehouse workers, truck drivers, law enforcement officers. So they're all over the place. It's just a big union, I guess, that just supports union.
The junk drawer union.
It is effectively the taxi drivers.
The taxi drivers are probably included.
In this case, they're representing the taxi drivers.
Probably.
Yeah.
It's like the junk drawer union. In your kitchen, you got the junk drawer. You just kind of toss everything in it.
Yeah.
The tax the council approved is quite low if we are going to manage congestion, said council member Mike O'Brien, who chairs the Transportation Committee and supported the measure. But it will generate revenue for some important things to mitigate the impact that the industry has had on us and the radical displacement of jobs that has been created.
The impact the industry has had on us.
And the radical displacement of jobs.
Who is he talking about there? When he says the impact they've had on us, does he mean the government? Is that what he's talking about?
Yeah, what's the us
So
here?
it's inconvenience to drive to work?
I don't understand
drive
it
to
because
the state house or something.
I think you're right. He's talking about the government, and the impact on us is the lack of revenue that they're getting because less and less people are using the other services.
Because they were taxing the taxis,
exactly,
and they weren't
licensing
taxing
them.
Uber.
Right.
That's got to be it.
Because think of all the hoops like a taxi driver has to jump through just to drive a taxi.
You got to get the medallion.
Yeah.
You have to lease the car.
Is that everywhere, or is that just? I mean, I was under the impression that was in like New York City and places like that.
New York City's the most noteworthy one,
okay.
but I guarantee you there's a taxi
in
license
other cities as well.
Yeah.
Okay.
Medallion's just another term for a taxi license. That's
Gotcha.
all it is.
Durkin's office projects the new tax will raise about $25 million a year. Over the next 6 years, about $52 million would fund affordable housing, including rental units for people making about $59,800 for a family of three, which if you live in Seattle, you're basically poor. Another expected $56 million over 6 years could be used to fund the delayed downtown streetcar, bus service, light rail tunnels to West Seattle and Ballard, or transportation voucher program for seniors and people with limited mobility or low incomes, which they could already be doing by just making the existing city services free for those people. They don't need more money to do it. Durkin's original proposal zeroed in on the streetcar for these funds. The streetcar is planned to travel along blah, 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 blah. The new project faces a $56 million funding shortfall.
They can't even make a choo-choo.
So basically they ran out of money for this project, and now they're looking for fresh meat to fund the project again.
Yeah, they want to create a competitor to Uber and Lyft. They can't afford to do it, so they're going to go to Uber and Lyft and demand it out of them. There's more coming up here and their customers. 855-450-FREE. You can share your thoughts here. It's Free Talk Live.
Most of you know that heart disease is the #1 silent killer in the U.S. What if I told you for just $54.95 a month you could fight against heart disease naturally? At Heart and Body Extract, we've been helping thousands of people get back to a healthier heart. Don't just take my word for it. Check out all of the success stories at hbextract.com, or to order, call 866-295-5305. That's 866-295-5305. hbextract.com. Don't risk it when you can take charge of it.
Message and data rates may apply. Individual results may vary. Exclusions apply.
But hey, I'm buying a huge flat screen TV so I can finally see it without my glasses.
Why not just get LASIK at the LASIK Vision Institute? That's what I'm doing.
My glasses and contacts are a pain. I'd love to finally get rid of these, but who can afford LASIK?
You can.
Because the LASIK Vision Institute is offering dramatically low prices and an absolutely free consultation. Just text DO11 to 350350. The LASIK Vision Institute has already performed over 1 million procedures. They use the latest FDA-approved LASIK technology that helps the majority of patients achieve 20/20 vision for a fraction of what others charge. Better vision, better value. The LASIK Vision Institute. Make this the year you finally get LASIK. For a free consultation plus an extra 20% discount, text DO11 to 350350. You'll see for free if LASIK is right for you. That's DO11 to 350350.
Do the letters IRS give you anxiety? I'm Dan Pilla. I've defended people from the IRS for more than 40 years. My book, How to Get Tax Amnesty, created the tax resolution industry and is responsible for helping hundreds of thousands of people. It can help you too. If you're a non-filer or facing IRS enforcement right now, your case is unique. You need real help, not cookie-cutter advice. My clients get my personal attention. Buy my book at danpilla.com and get a free consultation directly with me. That's danpilla.com. Let's start solving your tax problem right now.
This is a special alert for business owners, consultants, coaches, folks planning retirement, entrepreneurs, and anyone who is saving and investing to build a financial future. You are likely aware that financial privacy for most people has recently died a miserable death. And let's face it, without privacy, there really is no security, is there? Bankrupt governments and banks on the verge of collapse are perhaps the biggest threat to your financial future today. The Lighthouse Law Club recognizes this and has been working diligently to provide safe, secure, and productive tools to ensure your privacy, your financial security, and your future financial well-being, despite the catastrophes which many people fear are looming ahead of us. Find out more with a variety of free videos on the YouTube channel for Lighthouse Law Club. Just search YouTube for Lighthouse Law Club and secure your future today.
The LRN.FM social media channels have been revamped. We've eliminated Facebook and focused on other platforms like Twitter and Mastodon, the decentralized alternative to Twitter. On our accounts, you'll find posts from multiple LRN.FM show hosts together in one place. Follow us on Twitter at twitter.lrn.fm, or better yet, move to the decentralized Mastodon social media platform at toot.lrn.fm, toot.lrn.fm. I think you'll like it. So you've signed the Shire Society Declaration and are planning your move to New Hampshire to be around more liberty-oriented people. Next, sign up for the Shire Society Forum at forum.shiresociety.com. There are a bunch of people there who are already in the Shire, and they want to meet you. If you're already in the Shire physically, you should also come by the forums. Remember, not everyone uses Facebook. New people are signing up for the Shire Society Forum every month, so drop in and say hello at forum.shiresociety.com.
Love what we do? Please help support our international satellite channels at patreon.lrn.fm. That's patreon.lrn.fm.
It's Free Talk Live. You join us here, the toll-free number 855-450-FREE. We're talking about what may be the beginning of the end for Uber and Lyft in Seattle, where there's a 57-cent tax per ride that is apparently going into effect in 2020. We think it may be as soon as January. And that is, they claim, going to lead towards a minimum wage that they're going to cram down the throats, or the attempt to cram down the throats of Uber and Lyft. However, one of the things, and again, I got my critiques of Uber because I actually worked for them for a short period of time, and they unceremoniously booted me out the door for no reason. They never explained it to me. I was a 5-star driver, and I think it was because the local haters reported me to them, and Uber never bothered to talk to me about it. They have screwed over their drivers by cutting the rates. So when I started with them, it was 80% of the ride, then it became 75%, and who knows, they may have cut it again. So I mean, they're not the best company in the world, but they've gotten a lot of things right. And one of the things that I appreciate that they did was in Austin, Texas, when Austin was coming down with some ridiculous regulations on Uber. They were mandating background checks
in addition to the Uber background check.
Oh, yeah, I remember this.
So, yeah, they wanted the drivers to have to go to City Hall, or they wanted the wannabe drivers, the ones who were trying to drive. Oh, first you got to come down to City Hall. You got to go through a fingerprinting, a background check from the city police, and then we'll let you drive. Uber said, and Lyft said, we're gone. See ya. And they said no more pickups in the city of Austin.
It's interesting you mention the bit about you got booted, because the very next bit in the article says about $3.5 million a year from the new tax would fund a center where Uber and Lyft drivers could seek help with deactivations from the apps.
Oh, geez.
So now you can use the force of government when a private company decides to boot you from their app to get back on the app.
Yeah, what's funny is they were talking about how it's not safe enough because there's people who are basically bypassing their I don't know, their checks basically, but using other people's names and social security numbers and things like that. And I just thought that was kind of funny, like them thinking that that wasn't going on already in like the taxi industry. And
sure, there's all kinds of dangerous cabbies.
I mean, people use fake social security numbers all the time to to get business and get jobs and things like that. I mean, the idea that like government is somehow going to make it safer is.
So I've got a related story here. This one's out of Boston. So on the other side of the United States. Airbnb, they are under attack, and sadly, they have teamed up now.
Not going to be a 57-cent tax, I'm sure.
No, this one is a crackdown on the people who are trying to offer their homes and their apartments for rent. According to the story here, this is WCVB. I would have used the Boston Globe, but they've got a ridiculous paywall up, and so they didn't want to let me use their story, so screw them. But by Sunday, that's this weekend, all short-term rental listings in Boston on Airbnb will be required to display a registration number, or the listings will be removed.
Your papers, please.
As of...
I wonder what stops them from just copying and pasting.
Well, there will be investigations. That's one thing. As of Friday, Boston officials reported that registrations have been issued to 729 properties in the city. Another 288 are awaiting payments, and officials have denied 740 applications. In June of last year, Boston City Council overwhelmingly approved rules limiting short-term rentals. They included establishing fees for 3 classes of short-term rentals: limited share units, such as a private bedroom within a larger home share units, where a resident can rent the property for up to 3 months each year, and owner-adjacent units, where a secondary space of an owner-occupied building may be listed for an unlimited number of nights. Registration opened on January 1st of this year. They say that already 190 properties have been cited for violations of the city's rules. City regulations prohibit any property with any outstanding housing, sanitary, building, fire, or zoning code violations from being listed. So if you've got a ticket from the city for having your grass too tall or whatever, right? Some stupid code violation. You can't be an Airbnb host.
Can't have people doing what they want with their own property. Nope. We need more rules.
The operator is also required to provide notice to neighbors of a short-term rental unit within 30 days of approved registration.
Give me a break.
In August, no, they won't. In August, Boston and Airbnb reached a settlement in which the company agreed to remove listings that fail to comply with the ordinance. So
this
Airbnb,
is a mistake. They shouldn't be cooperating at all.
They are bowing down for Boston. As a part of the agreement, Airbnb was required to inform users of the city's short-term rental standards and work to ensure their listings are registered. The company said it used advertisements, emails, and notifications through its own platform to communicate the regulations to its hosts. Airbnb sent another email on the subject to hosts and reporters earlier this week.
Somebody invents a way to, help folks out, help them be a little more prosperous than they were before, and the folks in charge, quote unquote, have to come in and just take a big dump all over it.
So, well, they got to protect the hotels.
So, right, and this is something I want to point out specifically again, as I was saying before. It's not really. The supposed interest is that it's bothering people, right? Or that's what they're arguing, right? And so we have to stop people from, leasing out their homes. The reality is it's the hotel industry. They're basically seeing competition, and what these types of products or companies are providing are basically a service that effectively decentralizes and
a little
reroutes.
Yeah.
some of the money, okay, from the hotel industry to others, right, to private individuals, as opposed to corporations. So
that's right.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, it doesn't decentralize it enough.
It doesn't,
because
but
there's
it
still
does,
a central corporation, Airbnb, behind it.
I would agree, and I think you're right about that. But it does decentralize the actual who's profiting, and that's right. That's what the problem is.
And it disrupted the industry.
What's preventing a hotel from putting their empty rooms on Airbnb?
Because they're losing money then.
No. Like okay, it's the down season for them or whatever.
It's cheaper to get an Airbnb than a hotel room usually, isn't it? Not.
I don't know.
Typically, yes.
But I'm just saying that the hotel industry, instead of getting the government to be there, Bruno and Anthony and go bust some kneecaps on the new industry, needs to adapt and overcome to the emerging
yeah, but it's so
market.
much easier to just use the criminal gang to stop innovation.
This is the problem with established markets. The companies that get in first will then advocate for regulation, and they will make up excuses for why safety. They'll use things like safety as justification for why we need the rules. And
who knows what they've done to your bed in this Airbnb? It's scary.
I mean,
oh my God! If you put a black light on a hotel,
right?
Come on, man.
Here's the quote from Airbnb. Their spokesperson said, "Quote: As per our legal settlement, we are prepared to work with the city to take appropriate action against listings that have not provided a license number, so that they are no longer available as short-term rentals. But it is important to note this is intended to be a long-term collaborative process," unquote. Meaning they're collaborating with the city to do the bidding of the city gang to run out hundreds of properties, because there was another estimate that's not in this story that there were as many as 6,000 rentals on Airbnb in Boston.
Wasn't the one that you just read was like something like half of the people who were applied,
half of those who applied were
denied.
rejected.
Yeah, and that just sounds absolutely insane.
So, and this was over the last year, and there's been a rush towards the last moments to do this. And so, if there were 6,000 at the beginning of the year and only 1,400 have applied, they're seriously going to be limiting the supply.
You know what else we have to remember is that most people are probably not going to jump through the city hoops. So you're probably, maybe there's 15,000 people, let's say, I'm just pulling stuff out of my behind here, if there's 15,000 people who are currently listing properties, well, maybe 6,000 of them will jump through the hoops, and you're getting 3,000 that'll get approved, right?
And now they've created criminals where there were none before.
Possibly, because maybe they'll go to Craigslist or some other outlet.
Well, that's the thing. There needs to be some other outlet that is somehow more decentralized than Airbnb, perhaps some kind of a blockchain-based, decentralized, totally decentralized thing where there's no central corporation that the government can focus on and target and attack. Boston has the power to notify the San Francisco-based company of listings deemed ineligible, and the company will be required to remove the listing within 30 days if the host does not comply. Under the agreement, Airbnb will share data with the city, including the listing's unique URL, registration number, host ID, listing information, and listing zip codes. So Airbnb is going to snitch you out, and Boston's going to work together with Airbnb to crack down on unlicensed people just trying to rent a room in their own house.
Yeah,
make a little bit of extra money to pay the ridiculous taxes in that city.
I feel like I don't know who's worse. Is it the Airbnbs or is it the hotel industry? It's just a different party, doing what's in what they see as in their own interest.
Well, and none of the bad stuff would be happening if the state were not involved.
Yep. That's true.
Yeah, definitely agree with you on that.
So, the poor ride sharing. I mean, I feel sorry for these companies, and at the same time, they also aren't really worth my, my
both
sympathy.
sides are terrible.
Yeah. So again, somebody needs to come up with some sort of decentralized solution here. The best one I've seen for ride sharing is Cell 411, but even that's not open source, so it's still not perfect.
No.
But there's more coming up here tomorrow. We'll see you online. In the meantime, freetalklive.com. Check out Chris over at freedomdecrypted.com.
Liberty Tech.
Balance of nature, changing the world one life at a time.
Scientific research has shown that many cancers and lifestyle diseases can be prevented with a diet rich in fruits and vegetables. This prevention comes from the phytochemicals in the plants. They fight against oxidants that damage the cell's DNA, causing mutations that lead to disease. In my lab, I've seen the immune response increase, I've seen your DNA repair capacity increase, and I've seen DNA protection. As a scientist, I know that balance of nature works.
Experience the Balance of Nature difference for yourself. Call or go online now and become a preferred customer, which gives you our best pricing and free shipping. And we will take an additional 35% off of your first order. This will be a limited time offer, so don't wait. Call 800-2468-751. That's 800-2468-751. Or go to balanceofnature.com and use discount code FTL.
The new 4th edition of Healing Our World, The Compassion of Libertarianism, will take your understanding of liberty to a deeper level and has over 1,300 updated references, new cartoons, and a foreword by Dr. Ron Paul. With discounts for multiple book purchases, the 4th edition of Healing Our World is a great gift for the liberals, pragmatists, environmentalists, and Christians in your life who think libertarianism is cold-hearted. Get yours today at healing.freetalklive.com and use promo code FTL for a $5 discount. Some of you asked, and now we've delivered. LRN.FM's live Keene, New Hampshire studio shows are now streamed in HD on Twitch. Visit our channel at twitch.lrn.fm and give it a follow. If you have Amazon Prime, you get one free subscription on Twitch. If you use it on our channel, Twitch will give LRN.FM a monthly piece of your Prime subscription cost. So please watch, follow, share, and subscribe to twitch.lrn.fm. That's twitch.lrn.fm.
The latest episode of Questioning Authority is next after the news on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
This is the Liberty Beat, your daily source for liberty news and activist updates. Produced in partnership with SNLS News and listeners like you. Online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. I'm Mick Murrow with your latest edition of the Liberty Beat. Gold is trading at $1,464, silver at $17.01, and Bitcoin is trading around $7,749. Today's prices are brought to you by InnoScale. Take off with Managed Cloud. Looking for a safe, secure way to store your important files online? Let InnoScale handle it for you. Their high-availability cloud servers are the perfect solution for clients needing one or more secure, scalable servers with built-in hardware failover protection. For details, see them online at innoscale.net. In the news, on Tuesday, U.S. President Donald Trump signed an executive order establishing a task force to tackle what he called the sobering and heartbreaking issue of missing and murdered Indigenous women. The president added that such action, quote, should have been done a long time ago, end quote. The new task force, Operation Lady Justice, will be overseen by U.S. Attorney General William Barr and Interior Secretary David Bernhardt. Barr announced a plan, the Missing and Murdered Indigenous Persons Initiative, to address the crisis on Friday during a visit with tribal leaders in Montana at the Flathead Reservation. The signing comes as U.S. states, including Minnesota, also move to create task forces to tackle the issue. It's been well known for years among North America's indigenous population that Native women face some of the continent's highest rates of sexual violence, murder, and domestic abuse. The Liberty Beat is sponsored in part by Brave Botanicals. High-quality kratom and CBD at reasonable prices with excellent customer service. Brave Botanicals is activist-owned and mission-driven and believes so strongly in the power of kratom, they're giving it away for free. Just go to freeounceofkratom.com for a free ounce of kratom delivered to your door. Just pay shipping. That's freeounceofkratom.com. This is the latest edition of the Liberty Beat. Find us online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. Your news now continues. Since January of this year, around 250 students at a fake university in Michigan have been arrested by U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement on immigration violations. The Mind Unleash reports that in March, ICE reported that only 161 students had been arrested. The arrests are part of Paper Chase, a sting operation that lured foreign-born would-be students to enroll at the University of Farmington, a fake university offering graduate programs in technology